A minute silence, very well observed by both sets of fans, and we are getting ready for the first round of the FA Cup. And as Mark and I were saying, it's not so long ago that Cheltenham even being in the first round of the FA Cup would have been a massive thing, Mark.
Well, that's right, it was. I remember back in the day a number of fourth qualifying round games. I remember playing Dorchester here back in the 1980s.
Trevor Senior,
17-year-old Trevor Senior, scored a hat-trick, didn't he, and got sold the following day to Portsmouth for a lot of money and went on to have a good career. Now, I'll keep you up to date, by the way, with all the games around in the FA Cup. Couple of goals already. It's Crawley 0, Accrington 1. Sean Whalley has scored in the first minute there. It's Shrewsbury 1, York City 0. Jordan Shipley has scored in the second minute there. It's Leeds 1, Bournemouth 0 in the Premier League. Rodrigo after 3 minutes from the penalty spot. So there's going to be an upset somewhere, Peter Matthews, but I really hope it's not here.
We certainly hope so. So we get ready to go, and Alvechurch get us underway with a long ball forward, looking for Hamilton, headed away by Lewis Freestone for Cheltenham, only as far as Edge. Edge's ball forward, and Hamilton back to Edge, and Edge will play the ball wide, and Alvechurch then knock it forward, their captain Willett. Bit of space here for Concannon, but he couldn't take the ball with him, and then it's volleyed forward by Burton, away by Freestone for Cheltenham, up towards Ollie Inca. Good powerful header by Willett. So now here come the visitors with Hamilton, and he's won a free kick about 5 yards from the edge of the penalty area. Foul by Dan Adshead, and a set piece opportunity here early for the visitors.
Yeah, and Dan Adshead there coming into the side, just bringing his man down. Not sure, I didn't think it was a foul, to be honest, but there we go. The referee decided it was. It's about sort of, well, we'll see where the wall lines up and then we'll know. It's about 30 yards from goal, just sort of left of centre for the penalty area. Left footer, I would have thought, would be better. The left back.
Sefton is the left
Sefton,
back.
the left back, is stood over it, isn't he?
He is.
And is that Skeen Hamilton as well, or is it Abbey stand there with him?
It's Abbey, who's the leading goal scorer. In fact, no, Abbey's in the penalty area. Sefton, I think he's going to leave this. And it is Hamilton who goes for goal, and it's over the top. Not a bad effort, but Luke Southwood happy just to see that go over the top of his goal. He's now having a bit of a discussion with Liam Cirk. I'm not sure what that's about. It will be a goal kick for Cheltenham.
I wonder whether
George Lloyd's already, he's playing up front. He's already been called over by Wade Elliott. I wonder whether that means there's a slight change in formation coming for Cheltenham, or whether perhaps the visitors haven't quite lined up as Wade Elliott was expecting. Ball knocked forward by Cheltenham, overhit, through it goes to the goalkeeper, Dan Jessup. Forward by Ashley Carter. Hamilton will give chase down the Alvechurch left, put out of play for a throw to Cheltenham. It went off Hamilton, be down the Cheltenham town right, when well, we'll have a new ball because the old ball has disappeared onto the bowling green, I would think, and beyond the Colin Farmer stand. The referee's, I think, given the free kick actually.
Alvechurch is going to come out firing here, and Cheltenham have just got to try and, you know, they're going to come out. They're going to run hard in the, you know, in these opening minutes. You know, be a bit of a storm, try and get Cheltenham on, push Cheltenham back, and just make a big start. And Cheltenham have got to try and deal with that.
Williams is ball forward. Lloyd, was he pushed in the back? Referee doesn't give it. Lloyd sets off down the Cheltenham town left. Can he get to the byline here? He can, but the cross is a poor one, and it'll go out of play for a goal kick to Alvechurch.
A few goals already. MK Dons 1, Taunton Town 0. Dawson Devoy with the goal there. It's Weymouth 0, AFC Wimbledon 1, Ayub Assal. And the long trip for Plymouth Argyle to Grimsby is paying off at the moment. Adam Randall, after 5 minutes, putting them in front.
Goal kick then for the visitors. Dan Jessup, who's not the tallest goalkeeper, I wouldn't say. Kicks that ball, and he kicks it straight out of play for a throw to Cheltenham. Ironic cheers from the Cheltenham fans. It's a throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham town left.
I thought that was going to come for you, Pete.
I would have headed it, Mark.
You were going to leap like a salmon, Pete,
and
head it back into play. I could see it coming.
No question about that. Here's Caleb Taylor, midway inside the Cheltenham half. His diagonal ball looking for Jackson down the Cheltenham town right. It's not going to get that, and headed away by the left back for Alvechurch Sefton, and the ball goes out of play for a throw to Cheltenham on the halfway line down the Cheltenham town right.
Yeah, and that was good play actually by George Lloyd, I thought, down that left-hand side until the cross, really. He did very, very well. He held the ball up really well, went down that left-hand side, but then almost ran out of steam. He was right in the very corner and just couldn't get a decent cross into the box. Now, FA Cup goal. 2 non-league teams playing, and one of them scored. Buxton 1, Merthyr Town 0, and penalty from Diego Di Girolamo.
Formerly of this parish. We'll look forward to seeing where are they now, being tutored by Mr. Halliwell at some stage over the weekend. Throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham town right. Opportunity for a long throw here from Ryan Jackson, and back come every single Alvechurch player. The only person not actually in the penalty area is Concannon, but he's right on the edge of the penalty. Everyone else is in there defending.
On the edge of the box.
In comes a long throw. Freestone with the head, it goes over the top of him, in fact, and Alvechurch will try and come away with it, and then there's a foul by Ryan Broom on the edge of the penalty area, free kick to the visitors.
Yeah, and Lewis Freestone got a bit of space there, just couldn't get anything on it. If he could have got a flick, maybe Cheltenham might have had a sniff there, but he didn't.
Here they come with Ollie Inca. Cheltenham to the edge of the penalty area. James Ollie Inca, shooting chance for him, and he tries to curl it. Was deflected. Good defending by the burly Ashley Carter. He's a good old-fashioned stopper, Ashley Carter, isn't he?
He is. He looks like one of those when Cheltenham used to play in the Southern League and teams would come here. Every single team had an Ashley Carter, a big, strong...
Well, Mark Freeman for Cheltenham.
Absolutely, a big, strong player at the back.
There's a corner for Cheltenham, down the Cheltenham town right, which is taken by Adsett. In comes the cross into the penalty area. It's actually away up to Ben Williams, who mistimes his first touch, and under pressure from Edge has to go back to Luke Southwood, just outside his own penalty area. The Cheltenham town goalkeeper, all in green this afternoon, just waits for the centre halves to funnel back, and now will knock that ball long. That's not a good clearance though. Free header for the aforementioned Carter, and Texera, diminutive midfielder, just plays that back to the captain Willett, and then Carter with a long ball forward, but it's gone out of play, and it will be a throw to Cheltenham down the Cheltenham town right.
Yeah, a couple of Premier League goals. Wolves 0, Brighton 1. Adam Lallana, an equaliser for Bournemouth at Leeds from Marcus Tavernier, but just a couple of times that was given away there to Ollie Yinka on the edge of the box, and he picked it up well and drove and tried to have that shot, but couldn't get it on target. Just clipped away off a defender, but Cheltenham just starting to grow into the game now.
And Freestone with a diagonal ball looking for Jackson. It doesn't find it because Safton gets there first, and then Concorin does well, gets that ball forward, and Hamilton can't keep the ball in play. Throw for Cheltenham, 10 yards inside their own half, down the Cheltenham town right. BBC Radio Gloucestershire, defeat for Gloucester at Sale. You heard that one earlier on all frequencies we're broadcasting this afternoon, and also online in the UK only. And a reminder, Forest Green have won 2-0 in their game up in the northeast at South Shields earlier. Here's Ollie Inca for Cheltenham. His ball behind Adsett to Sercombe, and Sercombe to Broom, and Broom wide to Jackson down the Cheltenham town right. Broom continues his run. Can he get across in here? He's got to wait for his man. Pulls the ball back. Ollie Inca, that was a really good chance, and he's fired it well wide of the goalkeeper's left-hand post.
Yeah, that was a really good chance. Cheltenham worked that very, very well down the right-hand side. Nice link-up play down there. Ryan Broom getting the ball in. Came to James Ollie Inca, probably about, penalty spot area. And he snatched at it, really, I think, Pete. And it went disappointingly wide. That was a very good opportunity carved out by Cheltenham there. The early goal would be nice, just to settle everybody down, and it could have come there.
Just a goal kick forward, headed away by Freestone. Broom will win the header, but there's no one there, and Carter and Willits between them let that go through to the goalkeeper, Joseph.
Grimsby have equalised against Plymouth through Andy Smith after 10 minutes, and Wolves have equalised in the Premier League against Brighton through Gonçalo Guedes.
Here it is goalless. Steve Kitchen in the studio, 8-1-3. Gloss is the first word of your text. Standard network charge to play, tweet at BBC Gloss. The WhatsApp number I'll give you in a moment, because just for a moment the home side are coming forward, but now it's Chiesa with a lovely ball wide, looking for the pace of Waldron down the left-hand side for Alvechurch. The ball's gone out of play, throw to Alvechurch down the Alvechurch left. That WhatsApp number 08000 321 333. put gloss in there somewhere, and it'll get through to us. Carter goes back to Jessup.
It's good play by little Teixeira in the midfield there. It's a very, very diminutive figure, but he did well there. Good bit of skill.
Here's Hamilton on the halfway line for Alvechurch. That's not a bad ball, you know. And here's Concoran, a bit of space for him. Wide to Burton, crossing opportunity for Burton into the penalty area, blocked by Freestone, needed to be as well. Burton will get the ball back down the Alvechurch right. Now, what can they do here? Burton again will get the reverse pass. Here's Concoran up against Ben Williams, and Williams puts the ball out of play. Throw for Alvechurch, decent spell for them.
Yeah, he just found a little space there, Jack Concannon, in that midfield area. Did well.
Concannon back to Burton. And Cheltenham get the ball out of play. Another throw for Alvechurch. It's a decent spell of possession for the home side of Alfred visitors. Down the Cheltenham town left. Burton gets ready to take the throw. Hamilton makes a move for him. Waldron just inside the penalty area. Goes down the line. And it will break for Hamilton. Can he get a cross in here to the byline? Puts the ball in, away by Caleb Taylor, and then Ben Williams not with the best clearance, but gets it forward, and Ollie Inca able to control it for Cheltenham, but his ball to Williams goes out of play. Alvechurch will be encouraged by the last 90 seconds. Yeah,
they will, and just Cheltenham just having to defend a bit. It was good defending on his near post, on that near post by Caleb Taylor just there.
Here's Abbey. Teixeira finds Burton. Burton's ball, Concoran. This is good football. Abbey with a shooting chance. Good close down by Ryan Broom, goes wide to Sefton. Sefton leaves it. Now Edge is going to have a shot, blocked by Caleb Taylor. It's going to break out onto that far side. The Alvechurch left for Sefton. He goes back to Carter. Carter with the ball forward, overhit though, and through that will go to Luke Southwood.
Yeah, Cheltenham have just got to be a bit careful. They're just giving the ball away a bit sloppy on a couple of occasions in that midfield area. A couple of goals. Fleetwood 1, Oxford City 0. Lewis Warrington. Boreham Wood have scored twice against Eastleigh through George Broadbent and Lee and Love, and Stockport are leading Swindon 1-0 through Anthony Sarcevic.
Ball put out of play by Carter for a throw, even though the ball actually disappears over the top of the optimising IT stand, the home end here at the completely Suzuki Stadium. It will be a throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham town right. Another long throw opportunity here for Ryan Jackson.
Yeah, last time Lewis Freestone went to the near post, nearly got a flick on, and then Cheltenham could have made something from it. This time Caleb Taylor but Lewis Freestone and Caleb Taylor are there. Sean Long's on the far post.
Yep, we wait for Jackson in his orange boots to throw the ball in. In it comes. It's a decent delivery, and there's a header. Good save by the goalkeeper Jessup. I think it was Caleb Taylor.
It was.
And Jessup with a really good save. Knocked forward, mistake by Ben Williams, and just for a moment Edge has a half chance, flicks it on, looking for Abbey. Abbey hooks it forward. Was he fouled? No, he wasn't. The ball goes through to Southwood. Cheltenham very nearly caught on the break after a fine save by the Alvechurch goalkeeper Dan Jessup from Caleb Taylor's flick.
Yeah, he just flicked the header on at the near post, Caleb Taylor, and the goalkeeper did very, very well to get there. And then on the break, Cheltenham, we've seen that in a few league games, haven't we, where Cheltenham have had that long throw, all the players have been up, and then if they lose it, I mean, Ben Williams was struggling there, could easily have given a foul
Ball
away.
given away by Edge. Here's Ryan Broom for Cheltenham. Ollie Inca into the penalty area. Still he goes, but he's overrun it, and Jessup comes out and gathers it.
Got to get a shot in there, either Ryan Broom or James Ollie Inca. Somebody needs to get a shot in, no, neither one did.
Cheltenham have won it back with Adshead, but his ball looking for Jackson doesn't reach him. Hamilton under pressure from Sean Long, and then here's Abbey coming forward from midfield, just holds play up. There's a lot of space for Burton.
There is down this right-hand side.
But here's Abbey, and they've played some nice football here, Alvechurch. And here's Concoran trying to thread it through for Waldron, and in the end Sean Long clears it away. It'll break though for Broom just inside the Cheltenham half. He's a bit slow, he's dispossessed. Edge wins it back. Abbey, Edge, wide to Sefton, and they almost give that ball away, but in the end it's retrieved and goes back to Willett, the captain, and Willett across to his central defensive partner Carter. Carter's ball only finds Adshead. Adshed's done well, he's beaten the first tackle, hasn't beaten the second tackle, and here come Alvechurch on the break with Concoran onto the edge of the penalty area. Good block on him by Caleb Taylor, and Caleb Taylor comes away to Broom, and Broom's ball is a poor one.
It's a poor ball.
Edge retrieves it for Alvechurch, who I think will be very pleased with the first 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Mark.
they will.
Ball knocked down the line looking for Waldron. Waldron up against Freestone. Freestone puts the ball out of play, throw for Alvechurch, down the Alvechurch right, level with the edge of the Cheltenham penalty area.
National League Chesterfield are leading League 2 Northampton 1-0 in the FA Cup. Armando Dobra with the goal, and Manchester City are leading Fulham 1-0 through Julian Alvarez.
A long throw coming, no, Burton throws it short. Waldron, Williams puts it out of play, but Burton will have another opportunity for a throw. This one's closer to the Cheltenham Town corner flag, pulling it back 3 or 4 yards from that corner flag. No long throw, I don't think, no, from Burton. The two centre-halves stay resolutely back, watching George Lloyd, who's midway inside the Cheltenham half. Everyone else is in or around the penalty area from a Cheltenham persuasion. Here is Burton, dispossessed is he, up by Circum, and in the end, Williams puts the ball out of play, and Burton have, or rather, well, Burton of Alvechurch has another opportunity to throw the ball in.
Yeah, looks like this one might be a longer one.
Yeah, still no sign of the centre halves coming forward though, and in the end it's thrown short. One back by Williams, and then Circum hoosts that forward. George Lloyd, goalkeeper for a moment, wasn't sure whether to come or not, but Carter takes control of the situation and heads it back to his goalkeeper.
He does, and second goal for MK Dons. Will Grigg has got that against Taunton. It's Crawley 1, Accrington 1, Jake Hesenthaler. Cheltenham just need to start keeping the ball better. Cheltenham, there's a couple of occasions in midfield and where they've given the ball away really sloppily, and they just need to just keep the ball better. Here's
George Lloyd. Lloyd's ball forward.
Well, Broom didn't make the run,
and it goes out of play for a goal kick.
Broom should have made the run there. That was a neat little bit of play. It went into Lloyd, and you know, surely Broom should see what he's going to do there, and that he's going to make that run.
Dan Joseph to take the goal kick for the visitors. There's actually 2 balls within the stadium. Security officer comes to remove one of them, picks it up, which is behind Dan Joseph's goal. Alfie May, you will hear the applause. He's gone out for a little bit of a jog. And Joseph's ball is a good one up towards the halfway line. Freestone with the header for Cheltenham, heads it out of play. It will be a throw in to Alvechurch down the Alvechurch right. Dan Alundaloo also out warming up. Can't believe that Christian Norton, the sort of 3 strikers, are already out warming up.
Well, there we go. There's a message too.
Charlie Brown. Cheltenham has got 4 strikers in there, 9 players on the bench.
Yeah.
Reminder, you get 9 in the FA Cup. Here's George Lloyd to Ollie Inca, away by Burton, and then Hamilton takes advantage of a slight hesitation by Long. Caleb Taylor back to Luke Southwood, and Southwood's ball reaches Ryan Jackson. Jackson to Adshead. Adshead's ball forward. It's not the best ball.
That's a bit aimless, isn't it, really? It's just aimless.
We'll let that ball go out of play for a goal kick. 17 minutes gone. Forest Green won earlier, Gloucester lost earlier. Here on BBC Radio Gloucester, it remains Cheltenham Town 0, Alvechurch 0.
Yeah, Leeds 1, Bournemouth 2 in the Premier League. Now Phil Billing has turned that one round. Forest 1, Brentford 0 in the Premier League. Morgan Gibbs White. And in the Cup, Solihull 0, Hartlepool 1. Josh Umera putting Hartlepool in front.
Burton's ball forward, up towards Hamilton. Hamilton gets a flick against Caleb Taylor, but the ball's gone out of play. It will be a throw to Cheltenham down the Cheltenham Town. That's 17.5 minutes gone. We still await the first goal. The closest we've come, a header from Caleb Taylor, very well saved indeed by the Alvechurch goalkeeper Dan Jessef.
It's been all really the free kick that we had over the bar, wasn't it, from Hamilton earlier on? And that's about it as far as chances have been. That's a foul.
Foul by Burton on Ollie Inca, went straight through the back of him. The Alvechurch bench not happy.
Ian Long, the manager, doesn't agree.
I don't know why. It was a clear foul. Just went barged him in the back. Free kick for Cheltenham, 5 yards inside the Alvechurch half, which they've taken already. Williams to Freestone, and Freestone goes back to Luke Southwood.
Yeah, Cheltenham just struggling to get through at the moment. They had a decent little spell, but now that's sort of gone the other way, and that's not going to help. Long kick from Southwood, rather.
Looking for Ollie Inca, doesn't find him. Throw for Alvechurch down the Alvechurch right, and I'm sure they will be pretty chuffed with the way they've started the game. They'll have nearly got through the first 20 minutes, which I'm sure would have been their first goal.
Yeah, absolutely right. But you know, and they're pressing Cheltenham back, and
they've lost the ball. And suddenly, here's Waldron. Waldron for a goal, beats his man and scores. Alvechurch have the lead. Mistake in the Cheltenham defence, and Danny Waldron has finished that really, really well. He runs over to the travelling Alvechurch fans. And do we have the beginning of a story here at Cheltenham? It's Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1.
Well, it's a dreadful error by Caleb Taylor. He hasn't made many mistakes, has he, for Cheltenham this year? But he made that one. But all credit to Danny Waldron for what he did after that mistake. He took the ball on, he kept his calm, he went through, and he took, and there's another. Oh my goodness me. Well, somebody's just thrown a flare on the pitch, and it's gone over the head of the referee and some of the players, and they're absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that nearly hit some of the Alvechurch players.
It nearly hit some of their own players.
That is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, you know, Alvechurch, they've come here and they've done so well so far, and that's going to spoil it now. But anyway, they took the goal very, very well. Danny Waldron, a really good finish from Danny Waldron. But you can't have people throwing flares onto the pitch. You really can't have that.
Well, you can't have people bringing flares into the ground.
Especially when he's actually thrown it and it's nearly hit the team who he's meant to be supporting.
Or she, Mark.
Or she.
So, Alvechurch lead here. What a story that is. And it was a bad mistake by Caleb Taylor. There's no question about that. But yeah, Danny Waldron still got a lot of work to do.
He did have a lot of work to do.
He did it really, really well. It was a very, very good finish.
He did it excellently. And now, well, what a test of character this is for Cheltenham now. A real test of character for Cheltenham.
Now we have the ground staff on, just clearing up the flare rightly.
They're putting water or sand on it to try and to douse it. But what an idiotic thing to do. You know, in a moment of great celebration for their team, Alvechurch, somebody decides that they're going to throw a flare onto the pitch and very nearly hits A, the referee, and B, a group of celebrating Alvechurch players.
So
brainless.
We are starting the game, and we're starting the game after an Alvechurch goal scored by Danny Waldron after a mistake by Caleb Taylor. Edge and Williams have a coming together, and now here's Edge, and Edge's ball forward, and this time Caleb Taylor is there and intercepts it and plays the ball across the pitch looking for Ryan Jackson. It won't get to him. Sefton is there first, then Broom for Cheltenham just inside his own half, goes back to Caleb Taylor, and Caleb Taylor knocks that ball long, looking for Ryan Jackson, looking for George Lloyd. It's not going to get to either of them. It goes out of play, and it will be a goal kick. Lloyd was knocked over by the captain for Alvechurch, Jamie Willits, and it will be a goal kick to Alvechurch, who, coming up to the midway point of the first half, lead here through Danny Waldron's fine goal. Now
Ben Williams is down here. There was a clash between Williams and Edge, and Ben Williams has clearly come off worst in this.
Yeah, he's got a blood injury,
Mark. He's got a smack in the face, and Wade Elliott said it was an elbow, and it was a very, very strong challenge between Edge and Ben Williams, and Ben Williams has clearly come off worst. And the referee didn't give anything, by the way, in the for it.
And it was right by the fourth official as well, Mark. So yeah, I mean, Ben Williams is sat about 5 yards or so inside the Cheltenham half.
He's been bandaged up.
And his head is not for the first time this season being bandaged up. It's in front of the Cheltenham dugout, and we have a stoppage.
We'll run through a few goals then. Crawley 1, Accrington 2. Sean Wally putting Accrington 2-1 up there. Gateshead 0, Stevenage 1 in the cup. Jordan Roberts with the goal there. João Cancelo of Manchester City has been sent off in the Premier League game between Manchester City and Fulham. Dennis Politic has put Port Vale 1-0 up on Exeter City, and there's another one. Yep, it's 2-1. Borehamwood 2, Eastleigh 1. Charlie Carter pulling a goal back for Eastleigh there. So, but this is where the shock is at the moment.
Yep, this is the story. There's no doubt about that. Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1, and Cheltenham haven't really got going. That one header from Caleb Taylor from a long throw by Ryan Jackson, but there's been no fluency to Cheltenham's play.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, it's been very and you know, Alvechurch have worked very, very hard. They've harried and hassled Cheltenham off the ball. They haven't let them get into any sort of rhythm at all, and they've taken the opportunity when it came along.
Danny Waldron's 8th goal of the season for the visitors. He becomes the joint top scorer for them in all competitions with the midfielder formerly of Wolves, Jed Abbey. And here is Abbey on the halfway line. Ben Williams is bandaged up and back on the pitch, and Cheltenham have a throw down the Cheltenham town right.
Jed Abbey is, you know, Dylan Barker's used to play for Alvechurch before he came to Cheltenham. Jed Abbey is quite clear, could be actually the new Dylan Barker's.
Yeah,
he's very similar, isn't he?
Yeah.
In the way he plays and in the way he is.
Now Lloyd is making a nuisance of himself, chasing a long ball, but that's good defending by Carter for Alvechurch, and the ball goes out of play. It is a goal kick to the visitors.
Man City 1, Fulham 1 now in the Premier League. Andreas Pereira with a penalty for Fulham. I assume that must have been linked to the red card for João Cancelo.
And it's the Alvechurch fans who you can hear away to my right in the Hazelwood stand end. Terrific support for them. 1,400 tickets sold. It's not a particularly long journey, of course, down the M5, but they're enjoying their afternoon at the moment. And Cheltenham most definitely are not, because they've not got going in any shape or form.
No, they haven't.
Ball played forward by Abbey, and through it goes to goalkeeper Southwood.
It's Carlisle 1, Tranmere 0 in the cup. Jordan Gibson with the goal there, but Cheltenham they've got to switch on here. They've got to start playing, because they are, and you can hear it around the ground.
Well, the reason for the booze was because Cheltenham tried to play it out from the back, and Luke Southwood, under a little bit of pressure, has put the ball straight out of play.
But that's what Cheltenham don't need that. You know, that's not going to help them get back into the game.
Forward by Burton, away by Freestone for Cheltenham, on by Thomas Edge. That's not a bad ball. Bit of space here for the gangly Abbey, coming forward from midfield, 35 yards from goal. Texera goes back to Abbey. Abbey across the pitch to Thomas Edge. Edge will go back to Carter, and Carter is being told by his captain Willits to go back to goalkeeper Joseph, and that's where it goes. And Joseph up to the halfway line. Free header for Lewis Freestone. Away by Willits. Abbey.
Cheltenham's got nothing in the final third, Pete. Nothing at all.
Don't look a goal threat in any shape or form, even against a side who are many leagues behind them, I'm afraid. They've only scored, of course, very few goal games. Williams wins a 50-50 with Burton. That's good play by Ben Williams. Down the Cheltenham town left. What's the cross like? Into the penalty area, into the gloves of the goalkeeper.
It's a poor cross. Did ever so well. Won a great tackle against Burton, the right back. Really good 50-50, and then went down, and then the cross was poor.
Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1. Steve Kitchen's match day on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. What do you think about it? Send them in to Steve, and either he'll read them out at half time, or he'll send them through to Mark Halliwell. It's 81333 is the text number. Gloss is the first word of your text. Standard network charge to try applied. Tweet at BBC Gloss, or the WhatsApp number 08000 321 333. Gloss in there somewhere. Long ball forward looking for George Lloyd, but Cheltenham as an attacking force, Mark, very poor in the first 27
very
minutes.
Poor, and this is the issue. It was the same last week, wasn't it, against Milton Keynes? Without Nlundulu and May, Cheltenham just looked absolutely toothless.
Yeah, they've scored 2 goals in their last 5 league games. Sorry, 3. Yes, that's right. 2 goals in the last 5 league games, one of which was a penalty. In comes a throw from Jackson into the penalty area. Away by the Burton defence, and then Adset on the edge of the penalty, tries to win the ball back. And in the end, it goes out of play, and it will be a throw for Burton. Alvechurch.
Burton's the right back.
Burton's the right back.
I know they're playing
the same colours.
I know they're playing the same
colours. Down the Alvechurch left, which Sefton is going to take. Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1. You can imagine what this story is going round the football world at the moment.
We can indeed. You can imagine that, you know, people in all those grounds thinking, oh, wonderful, brilliant, Alvechurch are winning. Yeah, it's not so great if you actually sat here watching it from a Cheltenham perspective. Stockport 3, Swindon 0. Anthony Sarcevic with his second and Stockport's third, and an own goal from Kieran O'Hara has made it Newport 1, Colchester 0.
That looked like a fast through by Sefton, but he's got away with it. And here he is, away from George Lloyd, goes back to Joseph, the goalkeeper, who knocks the ball forward. Caleb Taylor with a header, but Alvechurch won it. Ball hits the referee, should be drop ball. which is a shame for Alvechurch actually, because if the referee hadn't got in the way, Alvechurch could have broken down the Alvechurch right.
Well, for a moment I didn't think he was going to stop the game, but he has eventually. And well, here we go. The time wasting has started after 28 minutes.
Uncontested drop ball. Carter's ball forward, looking for the run of the goal scorer Waldron, who has got in behind Sean Long. He's barged Sean Long over. He's conceded a free kick, and that will be about 2 yards from the edge of the Cheltenham penalty area down the Cheltenham Town right.
But once again, and there again, you've got players from 4 levels below looking stronger than the Cheltenham players. I mean, that was just, to me, that was just a 50-50 ball, and Waldron just was stronger. This is aimless from Cheltenham at the moment. It's absolutely aimless.
Very, very poor.
I don't know what the plan is. I don't know where. You know, it's just let's play the ball forward and see what happens at the moment, and it's not working. There again.
I'd say he was under pressure. He's knocked it forward. Joseph Bukeda is right at the edge of his penalty area. Let's give Alvechurch credit. They are playing very well. Their
game plan is fantastic. Their game plan's brilliant. Their game plan's working to an absolute T. Cheltenham's game plan, whatever it is not working at all.
Freestone gets in front of Edge. Williams back to Freestone. Freestone's ball forward to Circum. Circum hooks the ball on, away by Willits, the captain. And then Edge knocks the ball forward down the Alvechurch right. Caleb Taylor is there, goes back to goalkeeper Luke Southwood, who takes a touch outside his 6-yard box and plays a diagonal ball looking for Ryan Jackson. Good powerful header by Sefton, and now here's Concoran on the edge of the penalty. His ball to Hamilton. Hamilton tries to get a shot in. It's going to fall for Waldron, and that was a decent chance for Waldron. It takes a deflection and it goes behind for a corner for Alvechurch down at the Alvechurch left.
Well, Cheltenham are all over the place. They can't cope. Alvechurch at times they've got 4 players coming at them, and Cheltenham just struggling to cope with it at the moment. And there again, Concannon gave the ball to Hamilton. He laid it across. And as you say, if Waldron had caught that properly, it could have been 2-0.
Corner for Alvechurch, down at the Alvechurch left. In it comes into the penalty area. Punched away by the goalkeeper, and then a volley from the edge of the penalty area. Southwood was under real pressure. It was a decent punch, and Edge's shot from the edge of the penalty area is well wide.
Yeah, Southwood did well there. Grimsby 2, Plymouth 1. Michael Efete has turned it round for the League 2 club against the League 1 leaders Plymouth. And Wolves are leading against Brighton. They turned it round, a Ruben Neves penalty. Wolves 2, Brighton 1.
31 minutes gone. Cheltenham Town 0, Alvechurch 1, and Ben Williams just miscontrols a straightforward ball from Southwood, and the ball goes out of play for a throw.
Well, Cheltenham are just shell-shocked a bit, really. It's almost as if they don't know how to cope with Alvechurch at the moment, which is
Burton has found Concoran. Shooting chance for Concoran. Made room for himself. Plays the ball wide. Oh, just the wrong side of Hamilton. And goodness me, twice in the last couple of minutes, Alvechurch have had half chances. I do stress half chances to make it 2-0 mark.
He's done well, Jack Concannon. He looks a tidy little player in there, and he's done very, very well. And Cheltenham are just struggling to cope with this because they're quite fluid. This Alvechurch front players, Concannon and Abbey and Hamilton and Waldron, they're quite fluid, and you know, it's not a case of like they're playing 2 up and 2 back. They're interchanging, and they're causing Cheltenham a lot of problems.
Yeah, and let's be clear, most of these players have played at one of the big Midlands clubs. They've been released as juniors, but they've got decent pedigree, and at the moment,
but they shouldn't be winning 1-0 here.
Yeah, but they're the better side. Let's not beat about the bush. They deserve their lead. Cheltenham have got a throw down the Cheltenham Town left. I hope for everybody's sake Cheltenham get back before half-time, otherwise the reaction at half-time is going to be toxic.
It's going to be toxic.
Thrown short, Williams to Circum. Circum, good skill by Circum. Back to Williams. Can Williams get a crossing down the Cheltenham Town left? It's a poor cross though.
It's a shocker.
It's gone over the top of the optimising IT stand, bounces on the roof and goes behind for a goal kick.
Well, they've worked it well again, Cheltenham, but it's an absolute shocker. But already we're having the time wasting. Burton 1, Needham Market 0. Adi Oshilaja has opened the scoring there for Burton.
Here, Cheltenham Town 0, Alvechurch 1. BBC Radio Gloucestershire on all frequencies. Steve Kitchen's match day after earlier win for Forest Green and a defeat for Gloucester at Sale. But there's no doubt, if it stays like this, there's no doubt what the sporting story involving Gloucestershire sides is at the moment. Forward by Caleb Taylor. George Lloyd has barely had a kick. The formation isn't working, and Wade Elliott, if it stays like this, has got some big decisions to make at half-time.
He has. Here's a tweet. Gloss, I'm like a broken record here every week. George Lloyd should not be in the team at all. He's just not good enough. Well, this system is not helping him one iota today.
No, the system didn't work last Saturday.
No.
So quite why it was going to work today,
no,
I'm not sure. Anyway, here is George Lloyd. He's dropped deep and he finds Dan Adshead, and Adshead drives forward and finds Ben Williams down the Cheltenham Town left, and his ball to Circum, back to Adshead, Adshead to Oliinka. Bit of fluency from Cheltenham for almost the first time this afternoon, and they've worked it wide for Lewis Freestone. Time to look up and put the ball into the penalty area, and there's a header by Lloyd wide at the back post. He got clattered as he made the header, but it was wide of Dan Jess's left hand post. But that's probably the most fluent move that Cheltenham have put in this afternoon, I would think.
Yeah, I think it is. It's probably about the first time they put together about 6 or 7 passes anyway, and then got the ball into the box, and George Lloyd, he got the head up, but he just couldn't direct it. And again, he was very well marshalled by 2 players who are probably both about 4 or 5 inches taller than he is, and he's always going to find it difficult.
Here is Oliinka for Cheltenham. Ball breaks for Lloyd. Lloyd battles for Oliinka, wins it back. Circum very nearly on it. That's a really good covering tackle.
Good tackle.
That is a terrific covering tackle by Carter. Saved his side there because there were Cheltenham players running through Circum and Oliinka, and what Carter's done is he's come across from the left-sided of the 2 centre-halves and made a really good sliding tackle. The ball's gone off for Cheltenham, and it's a throw to Alvechurch down the Alvechurch right, but Burton, the right back, has a miscommunication with Edge. The ball's gone out of play. It's a throw for Cheltenham down that Cheltenham Town left, which is going to be left for Ben Williams by Circum. Williams, not much movement for him, goes short to Circum, back to Williams, back to Circum, back to Williams. Williams just down the line to Circum. Circum, can he get a cross in here for Cheltenham? He can't, but the ball fights its way into the penalty area in the end via deflection, and across comes the captain Willits to head the ball behind for a corner for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham Town left.
Yeah, a little bit better from Cheltenham in recent times. Bolton 1, Barnsley 2 in the Cup. John Daddy Bavars, and there's 10 minutes to go in. That was a 2 o'clock kick-off.
Circum with the cross from the corner, and it comes to the back post. There's the header, wide by Caleb Taylor, and out of play for a goal kick for Alvechurch. Ben Williams is sat down.
Well, I think he's got a problem here.
I think well,
that bang on the head kind of helped.
Yeah. I wonder if the cut's opened up again. I think it has, Mark. I think that's what the problem is. I think the cut's opened up again. That's what the problem is. And of course, if there's any question of concussion, he shouldn't be on the pitch. Right, we're going to have a change. We're going to have a change.
Here comes Lunderloo. Well, you can't blame Wade Elliott of sitting on his laurels and saying, "I'll wait till half-time." He's going to make a change now. And with 5 substitutes, you know, you can afford to do that sort of thing.
Yep.
And you can afford to change it up pretty quickly. Some other goals: Gateshead 0, Stevenage 2, an own goal from Kenton Richardson. Oliver Hawkins has put Mansfield 1 up at Barrow. Brendan Kiernan has added a 3rd for Grimsby against Plymouth Argyle. So that's League 2 beating League 1.
But there's no doubt, well, the story is in the FA Cup right now. It's happening right in front of our eyes here at the completely Suzuki Stadium as Ben Williams goes off. That's the last I think we'll see of him. I
wonder whether Lunderloo will come on for Williams then.
Well, I think
Cheltenham will go to a 4.
Yeah, I think Freestone will go to left back. Lunderloo will come up, and hopefully we'll have 2 players playing up front, which,
that might be
considering we're playing a team who are a long way behind us in league terms, I think is probably the right answer.
I'm glad to see an attacking substitution, and you can hear what the crowd think. Thank you very much, they say. They're very pleased to see
formation
Dan back.
Change.
So Freestone left back.
Yeah, Long and Caleb Taylor, I would think, is a 2.
Or Long as a right back, surely.
Well, where's Jackson going to play?
Oh, sorry, yes.
Jackson will play at right back.
Sorry, I forgot about that.
Jackson will play at right back. And on comes Dan Lunderloo. And this formation, which hasn't worked.
Or is Ryan Broom playing as a wing back?
Ryan Broom's playing left wing back. Okay.
That's an interesting scenario.
Yep. Ryan Broom is playing left wing back, Mark. You're absolutely right in terms of...
I'd rather have seen Cheltenham go to a 4, I must admit.
So, Oliinka on the left, Sercombe on the right, Adshead in the middle, Alundaloo and Lloyd up front. Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1. BBC Radio Gloucestershire on all frequencies. Steve Kitchen's match day. I'm sure Steve will have some interesting things to read out at half time.
I'm sure he will.
George Lloyd back to Alundaloo. Alundaloo accelerates forward. He's overrun it, and in the end, good defending once again by Carter, who comes across, plays the ball off Alundaloo. It'll be a throw to Alvechurch down the Alvechurch right. They will be eyeing that clock that says 39 minutes. There'll be quite a better stoppage time, mind, because of the injuries that we've seen.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they will be going, can we get in at half time leading? I mean, that would be beyond their wildest dreams.
Well, I'm sure it would be. I'm sure it would be. Wickham 0, Walsall 1 in the FA Cup. Another ex-Cheltenham player, Jacob Maddox, with the goal for Walsall.
Headed away by Burton for Alvechurch. Here's Sercombe back to Long. Long to Caleb Taylor. On to Freestone. Back to Taylor, whose mistake led to the goal. It was a mistake by Caleb Taylor, but Danny Waldron, the goal scorer, had a lot to do, and he did it really, really well.
I mean, Caleb Taylor lost the ball probably about 30 yards from goal, so Danny Waldron still had a lot of work to do to get through and score the goal, and he certainly did it.
Here's Sercombe for Cheltenham, down to Cheltenham town right. Flick ball looking for Jackson. Can Jackson get a cross in here? People in the middle. In it comes. Alundaloo brings it down. George Lloyd back to goal. To Alundaloo. And through it goes from George Lloyd, looking for the return ball to Alundaloo. Jessup gets that.
A tweet from Pete, who says, surely Wade has to go if we lose this game. The fans are restless and we need a change, ? Well, the board have already said that Wade, they're quite happy with Wade Elliott. Whether that will change if this game loses, I can't see. But
can't see it. Can't see it. Really can't see it.
Now, here's a big one. Another former Cheltenham Town player has scored, and his team from non-league are winning, and that is Joe Hanks for Chippenham Town. Chippenham Town 1, Lincoln City 0. The goal for Joe Hanks. The former Cheltenham Town man has scored.
Conference South, Chippenham.
Indeed.
So they're still a fair way higher than Alvechurch. The free kick for Alvechurch came to nothing. Sercombe puts the ball against Abbey. It goes out of play for a throw to Cheltenham down the Cheltenham Town right. 4 minutes for stoppage time to go to half time. Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1. Dan Alundaloo twisting and turning, comes away for his man. Good football by Alundaloo.
Made a difference already.
Huge difference. Wide to Ryan Broom in this unfamiliar left wing back position. Wide it goes to Freestone. Olayinka ahead of him. Freestone with a crossing opportunity. Goes instead to Olayinka. Olayinka to Alundaloo, who's dropped back on the edge of the penalty area. Twisting and turning. That's a decent ball to Broom. Broom into the penalty. Can he get the ball across? Yes, he can. Olayinka! And a terrific block by the defender and captain Willits. Really good block. That was going in. Alundaloo for Cheltenham. He's really livened Cheltenham and the crowd up. It needed to be livened up, and he's the man who's done it. Forward looking for Olayinka. He won't get there. Out of play it goes for a goal kick. That was a terrific block, because that would have been 1-1.
Well, it would have been 1-1, and as you said already, Dan Alundaloo's just come on and he's just transformed it. He really has, you know, and as I said earlier, you know, Wade Elliott could easily have brought, say, Tom Bradbury on and just stuck with it, but he made that change, and you know, it's livened Cheltenham up no end since that happened. Crawley 1, Accrington 3, Ethan Hamilton with the third goal there. Fleetwood 2, Oxford City 0 through Paddy Lane. Port Vale 1, Exeter 1, Giovanni Brown. Wolves 2 in the Premier League, Wolves 2, Brighton 2. Mitoma with the equaliser for Brighton.
Here, Cheltenham Town 0, Alvechurch 1. Up towards Dan Alundaloo. He's flick on looking for George Lloyd. Doesn't get to him. Full way by Caleb Taylor. Up towards James Olayinka. Olayinka's header forward, and Carter for Alvechurch midway inside his own half. Brings the ball forward. No pressure on the ball at all. Absolutely no pressure. To Sefton. Oh, that's a poor ball by Sefton. And now here's a bit of space for Olayinka to George Lloyd. Lloyd up against Willits. Now Lloyd into the penalty area. Can he make room for a shot? Good block by Willits. It's going to fall though for Ryan Jackson. Can he get a cross in here? Oh, and he goes for goal and blasts it against the advertising hoardings at the top of the optimising IT stand then, and out for a goal kick.
Well, Cheltenham looking a totally different side since that substitution, looking much more threatening, much more likely to actually make something happen in the final third of the game, and the Alvechurch defender just baiting the crowd now by taking as long as he possibly can. And you know, the referee should start, he's got to start clamping down on it. I know, yeah, they're winning, great, but you know, the referee should be starting to clamp down on it already, because they're already time wasting.
Do you blame them, Mark?
No, but the referee, it's down to the referee to get on with it, and I think it just ruins the game all over. Any team doing it, even when Cheltenham doing it, if they're winning, I hate it, and it needs to be somehow. They need to find a way of getting out of the game, because it ruins it as a spectacle.
Throw for Alvechurch from Burton down the Alvechurch right, just inside his own half. Back it goes from Edge to Burton, and here they come, the Portuguese midfield. Cheltenham, his ball forward goes off the Cheltenham player, and a play for a throw to the visitors down the Cheltenham town right. Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1, if you're just joining us here on Steve Kitchen's match day on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. We're 30 seconds from the fourth official coming out to tell us how much time there'll be at half time, and I would imagine 3 or 4 minutes added time. Concoran across to Abbey on to the left back Sefton, and Sefton again under pressure here from Jackson, and Sefton and Jackson and Hamilton have a coming together. Hamilton is the man in the end who tried to keep the ball in play, couldn't do so. 5 minutes of stoppage time because of those injuries. Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1.
Shrewsbury 2, York 0 in the cup. Luke Leahy with a penalty for Shrewsbury. AFC Fylde 0, Gillingham 1, Michael Mandron.
But the story is here, there's no doubt about that. Chippenham are leading Lincoln, but it's Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1 here. Caleb Taylor across to Sean Long. Long's ball to feet to Olinka. Back to Long. Long back to Caleb Taylor. And Caleb Taylor! Oh my goodness me! And Southwood stops it. Southwood wasn't sure whether to try and stop it from going out for a corner or not. And here's Abbey. Good tackle on him by Freestone. Calamity at the back. It was Taylor's back past. Southwood wasn't sure if it was going wide. And then he stood on the ball, and Mark Halliwell can barely watch.
Oh my goodness me, that was almost the biggest calamity you've ever seen. Oh, wow. Cheltenham got away with it there. Unbelievable mess.
They look so short on confidence, Mark, don't they?
They do.
Desperately short on confidence.
They do.
The crowd have to stay with them in the second half,
well,
because otherwise this could be very embarrassing.
They're not going to stay with them at half time when that whistle goes.
Oh, good play here by Carter. His ball down the right-hand side for Alvechurch. Here's the goal scorer, Waldron. Ball into the penalty over the top of Abbey, and Ryan Jackson on the far side for Cheltenham. The Cheltenham town right able to get it. Knocks the ball long, looking for George Lloyd. Good tackle on him by Carter. Alvechurch with 3.5 minutes to get to half time, leading here by a goal to 0.
If Cheltenham could get a goal before half time, if they could just
do that, it would change the game, wouldn't it?
It would change it completely. Shrewsbury 2, York 1 in the cup. Manny Duku pulling one back for York City. Those ex-Cheltenham boys.
Can we have some of these ex-Cheltenham players here, Mark?
Well, at least they can score. Back. At least they can score goals.
It's a throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham town right. Midway inside the Alvechurch half. The goal scored by Danny Waldron for Alvechurch on an afternoon when Cheltenham, I'm afraid, we can't dress it up, have been very poor. Crossfield ball by Sercombe, away by Burton for Alvechurch, only as far as Ryan Broom, playing in this left wing back role. Can he get to the byline? He can't. Good defending on him, and then really good tackle by Burton, but it does get back to Olinka. Surely that ball was out of play. Referee doesn't give it. Olinka to Dan Adsed. Adsed with a diagonal ball across the pitch, looking for Ryan Jackson. Just has to adjust his position, Jackson, but he gets there. Plays the ball down the line. Sercombe is the runner. Sercombe against Concoran. Can he get a cross in here? He can't, but he'll win a corner for Cheltenham with 2.5 minutes of stoppage time to go. Still Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1.
No, that was better though. Cheltenham just keeping the ball, trying to keep the pressure on.
Taken short the corner to Adsed. Adsed's ball into the penalty area, deflected behind for another corner.
Just put the corner in, please.
Well, I mean, Adsed had a lot of time to put that ball in and hit the first man.
Yeah, he did.
So Adsed with Sercombe for the short corner. That's where it goes. Sercombe's ball in, and it comes into the penalty area. Away by the Alvechurch defence. It's going to fall on the edge of the penalty area to Ryan Jackson. Jackson's ball wide to Sercombe down the Cheltenham town right, which is where he was from the corner. Adsed back to Sercombe. Sercombe's ball into the penalty area, but blocked by Edge, and Edge will get the ball away. And then here's Texera. Good play by him. Abbey is available. That's where it goes, but it's a poor ball cut out by James Olayinka for Cheltenham, and Olayinka wide to Ryan Jackson, and Jackson's ball on to Sean Long on the halfway line. We have a minute and a half of stoppage time to go. Cheltenham Town 0, Alvechurch 1 at the end of the first half here. Here's Edge for Alvechurch. Long wins it back for Cheltenham, but at the expense of a throw for Alvechurch down the Alvechurch left. And we are going to have, I suspect, in about a minute's time, an absolute cacophony of noise from the Alvechurch end and an absolute cacophony of noise from the Cheltenham fans, and they will be very different noises.
They will be indeed. It's Grimsby 4, Plymouth 1. Anthony Driscoll Glennon with the 4th goal for Grimsby.
Alvechurch have it with Texera. His chip ball forward, looking for Hamilton, away by Caleb Taylor. Good defending by Taylor, and his ball up to Alundaloo, but Abbey got there first. And here's Abbey, midway inside the Cheltenham half. They've worked that well. Abbey, that's a good ball. And here's Edge. And Edge has got Burton available down the Alvechurch right. That's where it goes. Can Burton get a cross in here late in the first half? Up against Ryan Broom. Broom's done that well, defended that very well indeed. Good defending by the emergency left wing back. And now he plays the ball to feet to Dan Alundaloo. Alundaloo up against Abbey. Has done well. Keeps possession. And then sets off. And that is half time. Half time. And Alvechurch lead here at the completely Suzuki Stadium on an afternoon where Cheltenham haven't really got going. The nearest they've come, a header by Caleb Taylor, very well saved by Dan Jessup in the Alvechurch goal, but at the other end a mistake by Caleb Taylor, and Danny Waldron raced through. He still had a fair bit to do, but he finished emphatically to give Alvechurch the lead. Half time, Mark. Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1.
Yeah, Cheltenham were pretty dreadful for the first sort of 40 minutes or so. They did liven up a bit. It took Dan Alundaloo to come on to do it, and they could have had a couple of opportunities. James Olayinka's had 3 decent chances, but that's about it from a Cheltenham point of view, and the Taylor header. And but Alvechurch, they took their goal exceedingly well. They've come here with a game plan. They've executed it absolutely perfectly so far, and well, you can't begrudge them being in front, Pete.
No, I don't think you can, and they have had other half chances where they could have added a second. Big team talk for Wade Elliott at half time. Cheltenham Town 0, Alvechurch 1.
Thank you very much, guys. Wow, what a shocking first half for Cheltenham Town fans. You can have your say, as always, on the text lines and the tweets. Text the word GLOSS, GLOS, and your thoughts to 81333. You can tweet at BBC Gloss, and on WhatsApp, pop the word GLOSS at the start of your message and send that through to 08000 321 333. That's GLOSS, and your message on WhatsApp to 08000 321 333. Understandably, Cheltenham fans not happy at all. Pastor Don Bliss, Wade Elliott is punching above his weight. Games like this expose his lack of leadership. It's individual talent that lifts his club. His approach to the game will guarantee a relegation scrap for months to come. It's a difficult first half for everybody involved with Cheltenham Town. Taylor should be taken off, making too many mistakes, and a change of system is definitely needed, says Nathan Chapman, who's come through. Pete, as we were hearing, saying surely Wade has to go if we lose this game. The fans are restless and we need a change. Your thoughts welcome. 0800 121 7575. You want to come through on the phones, text the word GLOSS, GLOS, and your thoughts to 81333. It's GLOSS and your message on WhatsApp to 08000 321 333, or you can tweet at BBC Gloss.
The sound of where we live.
Absolutely. If you're going to be going for multiple cups of tea, teapot is absolutely great. I just wish my girlfriend drank the stuff so that I could. Otherwise, it's one person, one tea bag.
You could get a little individual teapot. Genuinely, you could literally halve what you're spending on your tea.
Anna King.
I have had tigers respond to this, even in Indonesia, so it does work. So it goes. So that is a tiger greeting.
How do you get that sort of flappy bit? No, it's not enough. I can't do it.
The sound of your county.
With Anna King.
Join me, Anna King, Monday to Thursday from 10.
BBC Radio Gloucestershire.
Let's have a look at the half-time scores then, and we will start in the Premier League, We're at half-time this afternoon. It's Leeds 1, Bournemouth 2. Rodrigo from the penalty spot scoring for Leeds, but Tavernier and Billing are with the goals there for Bournemouth. Manchester City 1, Fulham 1 is the half-time score, but that's only half the picture. Cancelo's been sent off for Manchester City. Alvarez had given them the lead, and Pereira has scored an equaliser from the penalty spot for Fulham. So City 1, Fulham 1 is the score at the break there. Nottingham Forest 1, Brentford 1. Gibbs White scoring the opener for Nottingham Forest before, in the closing stages of that first half, and Mbeumo got the goal there for Brentford to level things up. It's Wolves 2, Brighton 2, an action-packed first half there. Guedes getting the goal to start things off for Wolves before Lallana and Mitoma had scored for Brighton and Hove Albion, and then we had Neves scoring from a penalty spot before Mitoma's equaliser, and Nelson Semedo has been sent off for Wolves as well, so they're down to 10 men in that second half. It's all going on at Molineux. I'm afraid it's all going on as well at Whaddon Road this afternoon. At Cheltenham Town of League One trail by a 1-0 at home to Southern League Premier Central Alvechurch.
They've lost the ball, and suddenly here's Waldron. Waldron through a goal. Beats his man and scores! Alvechurch have the lead. Mistake in the Cheltenham defence, and Danny Waldron has finished that really, really well. He runs over to the travelling Alvechurch fans. And do we have the beginning of a story here at Cheltenham? It's Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1.
Let's hope not. Another 45 minutes to go. But at the moment, Robins with work to do and chances to create in that second half. They trail by a 1-0. Earlier on in our 12 o'clock kickoff, Forest Green Rovers were 2-0 winners at South Shields. Connor Wickham scoring twice. The first coming in the first half from a cross that he glanced into the goal. And the second, something special. Just inside the halfway line, spotted the keeper off his line, and then had a go in the very last minute of the game to make it a Forest Green Rovers 2-0 win at South Shields. Elsewhere today, Bradford City have lost to Harrogate Town by a 1-0. Booze at Bradford, Mark Hughes' side. Mark Hughes, a four-time winner himself. Bradford are out, beaten 1-0 by their League 2 rivals, but much lower League 2 rivals, Harrogate, by a 1-0. Matty Daly getting that goal there. Bolton Wanderers 1, Barnsley 2 is now a full-time score. An own goal and Adam Phillips' goal for Barnsley. Michael Duff's side go through to the second round at the expense of Bolton. Elsewhere in the 3 o'clock games, it's AFC Fylde 0, Gillingham 1. It's Barnet 0, Chelmsford City 0, Barrow 0, Mansfield 1, Boreham Wood 2, Eastleigh 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Rochdale 0, Burton Albion 1, Needham Market 0, Buxton 1, Merthyr Town 0, Carlisle 1, Tranmere Rovers 0, Charlton 2, Colville Town 0, Chesterfield 1, Northampton Town 0, Chippenham 1, Lincoln City 0. No surprise there. Crawley 1, Accrington Stanley 3, Crewe Alexandra 0, Leighton Orient 0, Doncaster Rovers 0, Kings Lynn Town 0, Ebbsfleet 1, FC Halifax 1, Fleetwood 2, Oxford City 0, Gateshead 0, Stevenage 2, Grimsby a 4-1 up against Plymouth Argyle. That's another one of those shocking scorelines at the break. There's plenty to go on there. Maidenhead 0, Dagenham Redbridge 0 is also a half-time score. Milton Keynes Dons 2, Taunton Town 0. It's Newport County 1, Colchester United 0. Peterborough 0, Salford City 0. Port Vale 1, Exeter 1. Shrewsbury 2, York City 1. Solihull Mills 0, Hartlepool United 1. Stockport County 3, Swindon Town 0. Sutton United 0, Farnborough 0. Weymouth 0, FC Wimbledon 1, and Wimbledon Wanderers 0, Walsall 1. Those are half-time scores in the FA Cup. Let's go to our local games this afternoon then. The National League North, Gloucester City fans, like Forest Green Rovers fans, had a long trip to the northeast. It's goalless at the break. Spennymoor 0, Gloucester City 0 in the National League North. In the Southern League Division 1 South, Bishop's Cleeve drawing 1 apiece against Hamworthy. George Box with the goal scores, the equaliser for Bishop's Cleeve. Slimbridge are 1-0 up against Lymington. Jack Holmes getting that goal for Slimbridge. And Cinderford's Michael Simons has scored for them as they are level at the break. William Rovers 1, Cinderford 1. Cirencester 3-0 up against Kempston Rovers. Jake Lee scoring twice from the penalty spot after Levi Irving had given Cirencester a lead. Of course, in the rugby today, it was a defeat for Gloucester. Gloucester going down by 27 points to 17 at Sale in the Premiership. Big surprise, that one. Elsewhere in the rugby, in the other games taking place today, at half-time, it's Newcastle Falcons 7, Bath 7. In our local rugby, Cinderford are in action today. No game for Harbury. Cinderford today, they are at home to Chinnor. Chinnor starting in 12th place in the league. Cinderford in 5th. Latest score from there. It's Cinderford 5, Chinnor 0. They enter the second half. They just started the second half. So Chinnor 0, Cinderford 5-0 up against Chinnor. In our early kick-off then, Forest Green Rovers fans were able to celebrate a 2-0 win at a potential banana skin of South Shields.
That's allowing Forest Green space to get the ball out to O'Keefe on the right-hand side. Looks up, low ball in towards the penalty area, into Connor Wickham. And at the near post, Connor Wickham in the 28th minute makes it South Shields 0, Forest Green 1. And you can say that has been coming from the amount of territory, but in the end it was so simple. A ball, Carl McAllister finds Connor Wickham in the centre circle. Wickham with a long-range effort. And does he find help the back of the net? Yes, he does. Connor Wickham from inside the centre circle has chipped Miles Boney, and Connor Wickham seals the victory for Forest Green. And to be fair to the home supporters, Connor Wickham is being applauded for that.
It was an unbelievable strike from just inside the South Shields half. He's been talking to BBC Radio Gloucestershire's Paul Furley.
Well, Connor Wickham, you've scored 2 goals today and they still like you up here.
I know, yeah, it's nice, isn't it, every time I come back, but I love the North East, but the game today was obviously going to be difficult. We knew that from as soon as the draw happened, we knew that it was going to be a difficult draw, but we've done it professionally, we've got to win and into the next round, so we go back happy.
Yeah, how tough was that game to play in? Because both teams play good football as well.
Yeah, they do. It's just, it's one of them fixtures you look at and it's almost like a horrible fixture. You've got, a long away trip. Obviously, that they're going to sell out their stadium, in minutes. They want to cause an upset and get through in the FA Cup. But thankfully, it's us that's into the next round, and we can go back on the bus. As I said, a happy team and into the next round.
You dominated the first half and got a nice sweet connection with that Corey O'Keefe cross, and how much was that just sort of one off the training ground of sort of move towards the near post and the ball's coming?
Yeah, we've been practicing it. Well, so we've been practicing it. We've been talking about it all week. With the managers kind of emphasised that we need to get more crosses into the box from wide areas, and we've done it today. Well, the one that we did get in, we scored from. So I think we just need to take momentum from this game and take the positives and take them into the next game. So that's what we need to do.
You dominated the first half, but then the second half they really came out the blocks flying. I guess you knew that was always going to happen.
Yeah, we did. Obviously, they've got 3,500, 4,000 fans behind them, but it's about what we need to do. Obviously, they want to come out and cause an upset. They're going to be playing off adrenaline, playing off energy, and playing off the crowd's energy. So, to be fair to them, they did come out second half and pin us back a little bit, and we got a bit. They got a bit of success from it, but luckily, we got the first goal, which killed them in the first half, and then we held out, we defended well, and we got what we wanted in the end.
And talk us through the 95th minute strike. Have you scored many from that distance before?
Not many. I wanted to try it for a few weeks, and throughout the whole game I could see the keeper off his line, and I knew as soon as Kyle rolled me the ball, I thought if he rolls it to me, I'm turning and shooting, because I was on my own, I was stood on my own. And it's one of them, I could probably do another 100 of those, it might not go in, but today thankfully it's gone in, so I'm not going to complain, I'm going to take it, and obviously I meant it, so no one can say it's a fluke.
How pleased have you been with the impact that you've made at Forest Green? Because obviously your deal's only up until January. Rovers obviously want you to stay, but that just puts you as a player back on the map, to a national audience, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I wanted to come here with the intentions of obviously helping the team, getting myself back fit, getting my confidence back on the pitch. And I came in, scored a few goals straight away. Had a bit of a dry patch through. I think it's 3 or 4 games lately that I haven't scored in. But you know, today for me personally, I did have in the back of my mind that I wanted to score a couple of goals today. And obviously that's just the standards I set myself. I didn't quite expect them to be scoring ones like that, but you know, I'll take them however they come. And yeah, for obviously personally it's good, but obviously collectively, you know, I want to be part of a good team, and that's what we are here. So you know, we just need to keep this momentum going and keep it rolling.
And playing up front with Jamil Matt, you haven't done much of that. I think it's the first time you've started together. How was that?
Yeah, it's good. Jammer's, I think when I came in, Jammer was suffering a little bit of an injury, which he was playing through, and then I don't think he was able to carry on. So I take a little bit of time out, but credit to him, you know, he's got back. He's an excellent lad, and he's a threat when he's on the pitch, and you know, he's a big, strong unit. So you know, the two of us up front together are going to cause people problems. So once he's up to, you know, full 100% match fitness, I'm pretty sure he's going to cause a bit of damage.
And how much can this give Forest Green some confidence going back into the league going forwards now for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, that's what I've just said in there. You know, we need to get into winning habits. We need to start winning games, scoring goals, feeling good, and you know, realising what it takes. I think we defended well. I think we could have defended a bit better by, you know, killing them, killing it at source, really, their opportunities. But as I said, it's the FA Cup. Their crowd are on it. They're going to be on it. So you know, they're going off adrenaline, and you know, sometimes you just got to ride the wave, and that's what we've done today. So yeah, we're in the hat. We're happy, and we just need to take this into the next league game.
Thanks, Connor. Well done today.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Connor Wickham talking to BBC Radio Gloucestershire's Paul Furley, who made the long trip up with Forest Green Rovers to South Shields today. Connor Wickham scoring both of those goals. So Forest Green Rovers seeing off a potential banana skin, but at the moment Cheltenham Town are on the wrong end of one of those banana skins. We go into the second half with Cheltenham Town of League One trailing Southern League Premier Central Alvechurch by 1-0. Danny Waldron's strike separating the sides. Let's go back to Wadden Road and hopefully a much better second half, described by Mark Hallowell. And first, Peter Matthews.
Thank you, Steve. Well, we're going to see a substitution. Christian Norton is coming on. He's stripped off already to go, just doing a few sprints down by the touchline. The teams aren't out yet, but the first thing to say, Mark, is clearly we're disgruntled in being of a Cheltenham persuasion.
Yeah.
But Alvechurch have been terrific.
Well, a bit of credit. They really have on the field. Not so sure about the people chucking flares off the field, but less said about them the better. They didn't deserve to have any recognition really, but their team have been outstanding, absolutely outstanding. They've absolutely really been up for it. Now, Steve, you've got a few texts, and
okay,
let's go for them.
Cheltenham will be a laughing stock if we lose this. Wade Elliott needs to go if we lose. There's no name attached to it. Make sure you pop your name on there. We can give you a mention. Taylor should be taken off, making too many mistakes, and a change of system is definitely needed, says Nathan. Danny CTFC says fair play to Alvechurch. It's what the FA Cup is about, but I don't accept it from Cheltenham at all. We look like a team with no plan, no grit, no fluidity. Nothing has changed in so long in terms of getting game plan, even at 0-4 down against Bristol Rovers. Fresh ideas are needed. And Dave the Robin says this was always going to be a potential banana skin against a decent side. We need to up our game in the second half and get this won. We are missing Alfie May up front. No target man until he comes back. Those are the thoughts of some of those coming through. Keep them coming. 0800 121 7575 on the phones. Text the word GLOSS and your message to 81333, or GLOSS and your message on WhatsApp to 08000 321 333.
So the substitution is Norton for Lloyd. So Cheltenham in the second half will be Southwood in goal. Ryan Broom playing left wing back after Ben Williams went off injured in the first half. Ryan Jackson right wing back. The three centre halves, Long, Taylor and Freestone. Adshead will play in midfield with Ollie Inca and Sercombe. I think Adshead was a candidate to go off, I'm afraid.
I think he was.
And then up front now we're going to have Alundaloo and Norton, which will at least give pace for the Cheltenham side, and a 2 as well, which I think will help. Still on the bench for Cheltenham Town, Tom Bradbury, Charlie Brown, Charlie Raglan, Alfie May. Heaven help us if he's needed to come on. Ellis Chapman, Sean McDonald and Elliot Bonds. Alvechurch, they line up like this. Dan Joseph is the goalkeeper. The two fullbacks are Burton and Sefton. The two centre halves, the captain Willits and Carter. Texera, Abbey, Edge and Concannon are the midfielders. Waldron the goal scorer and Hamilton are the strikers. The bench for them: Brown, Cassidy, Bayham, Williams, Taylor, Woolley and Hallahan. We are 45 minutes away from what would be a pretty seismic FA Cup upset.
Yeah, and it'll be one of the most embarrassing results in Cheltenham Town's recent history without any shadow of a doubt.
Forward by Sean Long. Cheltenham playing towards the Hazelwood stand in the second half. And Long's ball on by Sercombe. And Alvechurch will knock that forward. I mean, we did talk, Mark, at the start. Cheltenham have lost to non-league sides 4 times in the last 10 years. But most of them were national. Well, they were all National League sides. Tamworth were National League North, I think, when Cheltenham lost. The others were in the National League itself. Thrown by Jackson down the line. Abbey dispossessed by Sercombe. Good play by Liam Sercombe, and then Abbey wins the ball back and finds Texera, and Texera to Concoran, and then forward it goes up to Caleb Taylor. Caleb Taylor's ball forward, looking for Norton. Norton's ball to Sercombe. Sercombe bursts forward, but the infringement there. And the point we should make, Mark, and we made it in the first half, I appreciate people join us all the time, is that a number of these Alvechurch players have decent football pedigrees. They've been in the academies at some of the big clubs in the Midlands.
Yeah, they have. They're not, it's not a case of it. You don't get any more where you're playing against the village butcher or anything like that, And they also train some mornings and afternoons. They're a hybrid model. They're not full-time and they're not part-time. They're sort of in between the two, really. They train 3 mornings and 2 evenings a week, so it's not as if they're going out to work every day and then going to train under dodgy floodlights. That doesn't happen anymore.
But we shouldn't say anything other than they are a long way down the pyramid.
Yes.
Norton's ball forward, looking for London, who doesn't find him, and then Norton does well to at least put the left back Sefton under pressure, and the ball goes out of play for a throw to Alvechurch down the Alvechurch left.
It's Charlton 2, Colville 1. Ashley Chambers has pulled a goal back for the non-league side at the Valley.
Chippenham leads Lincoln, but the other big story in the FA Cup. Here's Norton for Cheltenham, trying to run his man, and wins a corner for Cheltenham. I'm sure that's why Norton's come on. The 2 centre halves, Willits and Carter, 2 big strong centre halves, might not be the quickest.
No.
And Norton's first job is to win a corner for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham town right, which Dan Adsed is going to take. Once again, Sercombe is short. Mark is such a big fan of short corners. I know.
I hate them. I really hate them.
Adsed. Is it going to go short to Sercombe? It is. And Sercombe chips the ball into the penalty area. Freestone with the header, but it was a fair way out and into the gloves of Dan Jessup.
Yeah, it was always going to be easy unless somebody could get across there and get a touch to take it away from the goalkeeper, but nobody could. And it's Gateshead 1, Stevenage 2 in the cup. Will Harris pulling one back for Gateshead. Crawley 1, Accrington 4. And Spennymoor are leading Gloucester City 2-0 in National League North. Long trip.
Earlier, a long trip for Forest Green Rovers, if you're just joining us, led to a 2-0 win for them in the FA Cup at South Shields. Both goals scored by Connor Wickham. In the rugby, Gloucester beaten at Sale. And here it's Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1 in the FA Cup. Concoran's ball to Abbey. Abbey into the penalty area. Good ball to Hamilton. Good block by Freestone. It needed to be. And the ball goes out of play for a throw to Alvechurch down the Alvechurch right. I think if Alvechurch got a second mark, I'm not sure Cheltenham would come back from it.
No, they wouldn't. Absolutely not. Cheltenham need to score the next goal or this is over. And
Concoran down the Alvechurch right. Back it goes. In comes a cross. Caleb Taylor, not the most convincing clearance. Ollie Inc has struggled to get in the game. He's got taken out there. Texera to the edge of the penalty area. Good play by him. Ball goes back to Hamilton, deflected against the inside of the post, and the second goal is in. The second goal is in. Alvechurch have got a second, and I think it's Waldron again who's got the second. The ball deflected against the post, and Danny Waldron has made it 2-0 to Alvechurch, and Cheltenham in danger of a humiliating FA Cup exit. Cheltenham Town 0, Alvechurch 2.
Well, it's an absolute shocker again from Cheltenham. The shot came in, it hit the post, but who was first to react? Was it a player in red or was it a player in yellow? Well, it was a player in yellow, and that's not good enough. When that ball hit the post, there were no Cheltenham players there, and the reaction was poor.
It seemed to stop, Mark, and I don't know whether 1 or 2 Cheltenham players hesitated, whether they switched off, but you're absolutely right. There was no reaction when that ball hit the post. Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 2. Well, We said if Alvechurch get the second,
well,
now Cheltenham, what are you made of?
Yeah.
What are you made of?
What?
This is not, and I know some fans will make it about it, I understand why. This is not about the head coach. This is about the character of the players on the pitch.
Yes, it is.
Forward by Abbey for Alvechurch, and Caleb Taylor chests the ball down by his own corner flag and gets the ball out of play. Throw to Alvechurch down at the Alvechurch right, and the Alvechurch bench, who were understandably out celebrating, now trying to get to their players to say calm down. 40 minutes to go. Cheltenham Town 0, Alvechurch 2.
Well, and Cheltenham have got a massive job on here, and well, are they up for it? I'm not so sure they are. And Cheltenham have got, this is, as you say, Pete, it's all about the character now. And can these players find a way back into the game?
Into the penalty area comes across, away by Caleb Taylor. Waldron, of course, on a hat-trick here.
Concannon has been given the goal.
Concannon got the goal, okay.
Oh, in fact, it's just been changed to Waldron. It is Waldron.
I thought it was Waldron, I have to say. I thought it was Waldron.
It was initially
Waldron
given,
and Concannon. Well, the thing is, Mark,
initially
either Waldron
Concannon
or Concannon could have put in before a Cheltenham player got near it.
That's very true.
Yeah, I thought it was Waldron who got the goal. Concannon certainly ran off celebrating, but my initial reaction, I think yours as well, Mark, was it was Waldron's goal. Forward by the visitors. Freestone lets the ball bounce. It should drift out of play for a goal kick before Hamilton can get there. It does.
Stockport 4, Swindon 0. Ryan Rydell getting the 4th goal there for Stockport County. But wow, what a big half an hour this is, and 40 minutes it has, and of course this has massive repercussions.
Oh, financially,
yeah. Cheltenham need the money. Yeah, I mean, what does this mean for January? Cheltenham they had their budget. Don't know how much of it's been used or whether they're under it or over it, but even so, there'll be no extra money for January if this result plays out.
Charlie Brown is getting ready to come on for Cheltenham.
Well, you might as well chuck everybody on. Might as well chuck as many forwards on as you can.
Freestone for Cheltenham. That's a foul, surely, on Freestone. It is. Quite well half the Alvechurch bench were on the pitch protesting. I'm not sure. That was clearly a foul. Free kick for Cheltenham, who are in deep trouble here. Forward by Southwood, up towards Alundaloo. Circum. Adsed's ball forward. Alinka wins the ball. Cheltenham, handball by Thomas Edge. Free kick for Cheltenham inside the centre circle. They need a goal, Mark, I would say, in the next 10-15 minutes.
Desperately. Wickham 0, Walsall 2, Isaac Hutchinson. And also in the Cup, Ebbsfleet United 2, FC Halifax 1, Rakesh Bingham.
Get them all back here, Mark. Get them all back.
All these ex-Cheltenham forwards are scoring goals. None of the current ones can.
Circum to Alundaloo. Broom available. Good ball by Alundaloo. Down the Cheltenham Town left. Here's Ryan Broom. Can he get a cross in here for Cheltenham? Cuts back onto his favourite right foot. Chips the ball into the penalty area. It's going to fall here at the back post. Driven into the back of the net by Ryan Jackson, and Cheltenham have got the goal back. Ryan Jackson's first goal for Cheltenham Town. Volleyed in at the back post to give the Robins a bit of hope. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2.
And very well taken it was as well by Ryan Jackson. Would have been very easy for a wing-back such as he to get a bit excited at that far post and snatch at it, but he volleyed it inside the far post, and Ryan Jackson scores his first goal for Cheltenham. And maybe now, can Cheltenham do it again? Can Cheltenham keep this going now?
Right, so Brown's coming on. Who's he going to come on for, Mark Halliwell? He can't come on for Alundaloo or Norton.
You've got to take a midfielder off. You've got to take Ollie Inker off or Adshead.
Yeah. Forward by the visitors. Southwood will come on and gather that. Well, that's an important goal because it's come very quickly after it went 2-0.
It's a hugely important goal.
Free kick for Cheltenham. Push on.
Good
Ryan
play by Broom, by the way, on that far side. Clipped the ball across. And Jackson, there was nobody marking him at all.
Good finish.
And it was a very good finish. As I say, he could have easily snatched at it. Could easily have just got a bit excited, but he didn't. He kept it down. He hit it well, low into that far corner, inside that post.
Looks like a heavy drizzle here. We're fortunately are protected from it. Last time Cheltenham played Alvechurch here, the ground, of course, would have looked very different. You'd have got very wet watching Cheltenham play Alvechurch.
You would have done. Last time Cheltenham played Alvechurch, Chris Burns scored 5 goals in the Midland Floodlit Cup.
On by Alundaloo to Jackson. Jackson's ball forward looking for Christian Norton. Norton, good strength by Norton. He's done well there. And he's won a throw for Cheltenham.
He hasn't
won a throw. I thought that was a throw for Cheltenham. Norton up against a big central defender. In the end, the central defender beat him. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2. BBC Radio Gloucestershire, your comments welcome to Steve Kitchen in the studio. 81333 is the text number. Gloss is the first word of your text. Standard network charge apply. Tweet at BBC Gloss or the WhatsApp number 08000 321 333. 08000 321 333. Gloss is the first word of your text. It's heavy rain here, and Cheltenham have been given a lifeline from 2 goals down by a first goal for the club by the right wing back Ryan Jackson. Where's Brown?
It's a bit heavy. Brown's still stood there.
He's still waiting to come on.
I wonder whether that goal's changed the idea really on that one. It's Grimsby 5, Plymouth 1. Brendan Kiernan's got the 5th. Carlisle 2, Tranmere 0. Jaden Harris with the goal there. Jack Senior of Halifax has been sent off, and they are losing 2-1 at Ebbsfleet.
And the rain is driving down. I think
Wade Elliott's talking about the time wasting here.
Yeah, and he's right to talk about the time wasting. And I have to say that I think the rain is in the faces of the Cheltenham Town players. So I think Alvechurch have got the benefit of the wind and rain. I think, Mark, we might have some more social media, which we'll give out in a moment, as Caleb Taylor heads away the goal kick for Cheltenham up towards Norton. Norton beaten in the air. Adsev with a header forward. On by Thomas Edge, away by Caleb Taylor. Ollie Inker fouls
Edge.
Edge.
Jumped into his man there.
Clearly a free kick. Still, Charlie Brown waits to come on, but he is sitting down. Mark, have you got the social media?
No, I haven't got any.
Okay. We wait for a free kick then for Alvechurch. With 56 minutes gone here at the completely Suzuki Stadium. Cheltenham Town 1, Alvechurch 2 if you're just joining us. You think that's bad? It was 2-0. Ryan Jackson, the man whose goal brought it back to 2-1.
It says everything when your wing back has to score your goals.
Edge plays the ball wide, on by Burton. Abbey is the runner down the Alvechurch right, but it's gone out of play. It will be a throw for Cheltenham, which Lewis Freestone will take.
Yes, and Cheltenham just need to try and find another way back if they can just keep going as they were. But Alvechurch seem to have just weathered that little storm a bit.
It's a throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham Town left. Still, Charlie Brown doesn't come on. I think he sat back on the bench.
No, he sat back down
Mark.
again.
I wonder if that goal has changed
the goal
thinking.
changed it. The goal changed it. They were going to bring him on, but that goal has changed the idea.
Throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham Town left.
Gateshead have equalised against Stevenage. Camille Conte with the equaliser. They come from 2-0 down. National League against League 2.
Well, it's at this point that sometimes in games I turn to Mark Halliwell and say, would you take a draw, Mark? Lyme Meadow, Mark, have you been there?
I have. I went there in when Cheltenham played in the Southern League Cup semi-final against Alvechurch.
Remember it well.
Way back in the 1980s, Cheltenham lost over 2 legs.
83-4, I think, from memory.
I think, if I remember rightly, Alan Smith scored the winner.
Indeed, former Arsenal player.
The Canadian supporters group say if there was ever a game to get your first goal for the club, this was it. Yeah, most certainly was. Very timely for Ryan Jackson.
Well, Ryan Jackson's done it. How about you, Christian Norton?
Yeah, Christian Norton, you could do it. What about you?
Is this game number 30, Mark?
It is game number 30. What about you, Dan Adted? Matching the number of his shirt.
Jackson, under pressure from his man, and the referee says
foul's given the other way.
Sefton went through the back of the Cheltenham player. Free kick for Cheltenham. Still no sign of Charlie Brown. I think Mark's absolutely right. That goal has changed Wade Elliott's thinking. We're coming up to the hour mark with Cheltenham trailing here to Alvechurch by 2-1. 2 goals by Danny Waldron for Alvechurch. They were 2-0 up, but a goal pulled back by Ryan Jackson. He's on the ball now. Back to Long. Long turns away from Hamilton. Hamilton to Caleb Taylor across the pitch.
Still full of energy.
Freestone.
They're still full of energy, this Alvechurch team, full of running.
Well,
as you'd expect them to be.
Here's Christian Norton down the Cheltenham Town left. It's available from Ollie Inker. That's where it goes. It's Ollie Inker. Diagonal wall by him, looking for Jackson. Can Jackson keep it in play? No, he can't. Out of play it goes. Goal kick for Alvechurch. We come up to the hour mark. 30 minutes to go. 30 minutes for Alvechurch to hold on for a famous victory, or for Cheltenham to pull this one out of the fire.
Port Vale 1, Exeter 2. Giovanni Brown has put them in front. This is his second of the game there. Bristol Rovers 1, Rochdale 0. A first goal after his return to the club for Scott Sinclair.
Alfie May is complaining to the fourth official yet again about the time wasting of Jan Jessef. And Jessef knocks that ball long. Caleb Taylor with a free header for Cheltenham up towards Olinka. Olinka and Absid have been peripheral figures really in this game. Olinka's had some good chances.
Olinka had chances in the first half, but him and Adshead in the second half have just been nowhere near it.
Cheltenham have a throw down the Cheltenham Town left. Ian Long, the Alvechurch manager, who's about as far away from that incident as you could possibly be. Not happy with it, but I think it was a Cheltenham throw down the Cheltenham Town left. Freestone to take.
Right, another message. Bye-bye Wade. No pride, no quality, and the players need to really look in the mirror. Should think themselves lucky to earn a living as footballers. Free falling, says Paddock Fred.
Right, here's Ryan Broom down the Cheltenham Town left. Good defending by Jamie Willits, the captain for Alvechurch. Puts the ball out of play. Mark, I can understand why people are going to immediately jump on the bandwagon of get Wade Elliott out. I'm not sure that's the right answer, but I do understand why.
Yeah. And well, David Bloxham has said, he said in an interview this week with the local newspaper that Wade Elliott, he's happy with Wade Elliott, and things aren't going to change.
Foul by Sercombe on Hamilton, a bit hard. Cheltenham overplayed it just inside the Alvechurch half. Yellow card for Liam Sercombe. Free kick for Alvechurch on the halfway line.
Another message here. Massive prize money at stake here. The opportunity to reinforce our forward line in January hangs on the next half an hour. Season defining moments, says Matt.
Yeah, Matt, I think you're right. I'm afraid. I do think you're right. I mean, it sounds silly that we're talking about money with the pride of the FA Cup, but that money really matters to Cheltenham Town. It really matters. Biggest budget in the club's history. How?
Yeah. Weymouth 1, AFC Wimbledon 1. Akeem Rose equalising for the National League South team against League 2 Wimbledon.
Here's Sercombe for Cheltenham. His ball to Dan Alundaloo, who tried to just turn and go. Ball goes out of play. Throw for Alvechurch down the Alvechurch left. And now I'm sure mentally be watching that clock. Can we get to 70? Still leading. 27.5 minutes to go. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2. Big story developing here on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Steve Kitchen's match day. All frequencies. Earlier, Forest Green won at South Shields, and Gloucester lost at Sale in the rugby. Dan Alundaloo's overrun that. The ball's gone out of play. Throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham Town right. Taken by Ryan Jackson. Sercombe is trying to inspire his team, driving forward. Gets the ball. Tries to find Norton. Can Norton get there? He can't. Ball not long by Alvechurch. I think it will be attack against defence in the main now for the next.
It should be.
27 minutes.
You know, Cheltenham will have to be careful because Alvechurch have already shown that they can cause trouble on the counter attack. Cheltenham can't go too gung ho at the moment. Freestone's
ball forward. Caleb Taylor beaten by Adshead by his own player. Gives some idea of the communication out there. Forward by Long. That's a decent ball. Alundaloo looking for Olinka. Sercombe wins it back for Cheltenham. Good now Alundaloo. Alundaloo with the opportunity to come forward for Cheltenham. Broom wants it wide. Alundaloo trying to do this himself. Goes to Olinka and it breaks down.
I have to say that was poor from Teixeira, the number 4 there, because Sercombe made the challenge. He won the ball, and then Teixeira went down as if he was shot, and then straight away got up again about 2 minutes later when he realised he didn't have the free kick. That was a bit poor from him there.
64 minutes gone. Cheltenham Town 1, Alvechurch 2.
MK Dons 4, Taunton 0. Moisa scores. Add him to the list, everybody. Add him to the list.
Mark Halliwell's Twitter feed tomorrow is going to be very, very busy with the "Where are they now?" conversations. He might also be discussing Cheltenham Town's performance.
Well,
here's Ryan Jackson for Cheltenham, down the Cheltenham Town right. Push and run by the right wing back. Really good defending by the defender, but he's got away from him. Jackson into the penalty area. Ball across the face of goal. Broom, can he get a shot in here? Down the Cheltenham Town left. Still Ryan Broom. Chips the ball into the penalty area looking for Norton. That's a good clearing header by Willits, the captain. Cheltenham have it back. Sercombe 35 yards from goal. Sean Long available. Down to Cheltenham town right. Can there be a decent cross here from Long? In it comes. Goalkeeper comes and fits it away. And volleyed over the top by Olinka. Just outside the penalty area on the stretch. And that was a decent half chance for Cheltenham. It remains Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2.
It was better though. It was better though. The Cheltenham worked that really well. Tried to work the opening. The first cross was well defended by Alvechurch. The second cross as well. And the referee's finally decided that he's going to start worrying about time wasting.
Well, Alfie May is getting increasingly agitated on the Cheltenham bench. He's the one coming out and talking to the fourth official. He could get himself into trouble, Alfie, here. Isn't even on the pitch.
Well, the officials need to be dealing with it, and they're not.
At least it does show
it's down
passion.
to the officials to deal with it, and they're not doing it, as they never do.
2-1 to Alvechurch. We're heading towards the final quarter of the game. Here's Hamilton on the edge of the penalty. Shooting chance. He's gone past one man. He's gone past two. And he's fired over the top. That was a real chance. Real chance for Hamilton. He went away from Sean Long. He got into the penalty area. And he might think he should have made it 3-1.
Well, he probably should, but that was super play by the Alvechurch man. Really good play. And I have to say, I know I've only watched them for 66 minutes or so. But some of these Alvechurch players wouldn't look out of place in the Cheltenham team. They really wouldn't. And that's not a good reflection on the Cheltenham team.
Throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham town left. Going to be taken by Freestone. Here comes the talisman.
Mate.
I'm sure Wade Elliott would have rather not to have had to use.
It's got to be done. He's got no other option.
Well, Charlie Brown not on the pitch. Why is Charlie Brown not on the pitch?
Because Alfie May's coming on instead.
Alfie May getting ready to come on for Cheltenham.
And that just shows how much trouble Cheltenham are in here, because you've got a position where Cheltenham are bringing back a forward who we were told was going to be out for 10 weeks and has been out for what, 4?
Yeah, 5. Forward by Caleb Taylor, looking for Christian Norton, who's got pace to burn. Out comes goalkeeper Jessup and gathers it before Norton can get there. May for a midfielder, you'd think, Mark.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be.
Cheltenham are 23 minutes away from going out of the FA Cup to Alvechurch, who have been absolutely terrific. Alvechurch from the Southern League Premier Division Central.
He's got to take Adset or Olinka off. I'd take Adset off myself.
Might leave you a bit exposed if you did. Here is Adset. He's
but
just won the ball there, and he's found Olinka, who might look back at some of the chances he had and think he should have done better. But at the moment, it's all a bit nervy for Cheltenham. Long to Sercombe. Sercombe to Olinka. Olinka's ball, looking for Christian Norton. Is he onside? Yes, he is. Norton heading in on goal. Still Christian Norton. Can he get a shot in across the face of the goal? Ryan Broom has fired over the top. Should have scored. Should have scored, Ryan Broom.
What a miss. What a miss.
Adset coming off, Alfie May coming on. Yellow card. Now, who's the yellow card to? Is it to Willett or is it to the goalkeeper?
Well, it's one of them.
Biggest cheer of the afternoon from people of a Cheltenham persuasion. The talisman is back.
Well, that should have been in the net.
Adset coming off.
That should have been in the net. Norton did really well, actually, down that right-hand side. Beat the offside trap, kept going, did the right thing, got the ball across. And Ryan Broom should score.
So I think it is Willits, the captain, who's been booked. No, or is it Carter who's been booked?
I think it's Carter, the 6,
yeah.
is it?
FA Cup first round, always a shock. And at the moment it's happening at Chippenham, where Chippenham lead Lincoln by 1-0. And here where Alvechurch lead Cheltenham by 2-1. Alfie May is on. I think he's going to play just behind the front two. Here's Daniel Underloo for Cheltenham. Wide to Jackson. May immediately makes a run for him. That's where it goes. Down the line to Alfie May. May back to goal. Twisting and turning. Back to Sercombe. Sercombe's ball looking for Alundaloo. Doesn't find him. And Alvechurch then very nearly give the ball away. And good efforts by Olayinka to win it back, then Broom, and then Circum for Cheltenham, and finally it goes back to Freestone. And the question now does come in as to whether fitness will play a part in the last 15.
Well,
Alvechurch are hybrid come, as Mark said, so it's not going to be dreadful, I don't think, but Cheltenham ought to be a bit fitter, you would hope.
You'd hope so.
Here's Thomas Edgestow for Alvechurch, chip ball forward, looking for the run of Waldron, who's got 2. He's on a hat-trick. What a story that would be.
Yeah.
Ryan Broom for Cheltenham had that glorious chance a moment or so ago. We're up to 70 minutes. Ball forward looking for May, doesn't get there, well intercepted. Good defending by Alvechurch. And then Abbey, his ball to Concaran. Concaran with an opportunity to chip that ball into the channel. No one's going to make the run for him. It's going to go out of play, is it? Or will Caleb Taylor keep it in? Caleb Taylor keeps it in. Goes back to Luke Southwood. Charlie Brown starts to warm up. I mean, if Cheltenham had to bring on 4 strikers, goodness me. Here's Broom for Cheltenham. Down the line to Olayinka. Olayinka down the Cheltenham town left. Here he comes. Beats his man. Good play by Olayinka. And then is he fouled? Yes, he is. Free kick for Cheltenham. On the edge of the penalty area. Down the Cheltenham town left. 19 minutes to go. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2. Steve Kitchen's match day on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Earlier we had a win for Forest Green, 2-0 at South Shields in the FA Cup. We had defeat for Gloucester at Sale. And here, Cheltenham, remember, were 2 down. They pulled one back through Ryan Jackson pretty quickly after Alvechurch made it 2-0. But they only have 18 minutes for stoppage time to try and score a goal that will keep them in this season's FA Cup. Set piece incoming. Circum over the ball. May over the ball. Wall of 2 for Alvechurch. May takes it to the back post. Caleb Taylor is there, across the face of the goal, and Norton heads it into the goalkeeper's gloves. Cheltenham think there was a push. Cheltenham think there was a push. They're not going to get anything for it.
Well, I don't know what happened there.
Well, it got kept in by Caleb Taylor, and Norton looked to me as if he was going to score, and he didn't, and in the end it went into the goalkeeper's gloves, and I'm not sure what happened there.
No, I'm not sure what happened there. Some of the players were claiming either for a goal or a penalty, but they didn't get either.
Well, Christian Norton still looking for his first Cheltenham goal. Here's someone who has scored their first goal for Cheltenham, which is Ryan Jackson. Free kick for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham town right. We are getting towards the stage now where Wade Elliott might have to think about throwing Charlie Brown on, I think. But then the question will be, do you just become so unbalanced that you're liable to be caught on the break?
Well,
and a third goal, Mark, is game over, isn't it?
You've got to go for it, though, haven't you? You've got to go for it. The referee's having a long chat with Ian Long here, the Alvechurch manager. I think he's saying about time wasting. I think that's what it's all about. But of course, the referee's now wasting time by doing all this. Anyway, some more goals. MK Dons 5, Taunton 0. Fleetwood 2, Oxford City 1. Alfie Potter bringing one back there for Oxford. Carlisle 2, Tranmere 1. Newport 2, Colchester 0.
Yeah, and the referee has just said to Wade Elliott, I've just been talking to the Alvechurch manager about time wasting. He pointed to his watch. Free kick for Cheltenham. Alvechurch about to bring on Williams, Harry Williams.
Not that one.
No, indeed. Forward by Southwood, up towards Daniel Underloo, heads the ball forward. Foul, I think, inside the penalty area. Or is it got to be taken again?
He's going to take it again because he wants to make the substitution.
Alvechurch were going to...
Jack Concannon coming off.
So Harry Williams on, Jack Concannon off. Cheltenham 17 minutes plus stoppage time away from an FA Cup exit. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2. If you're just joining us,
Charlie Brown getting ready.
Alvechurch scored in the first half through their striker Danny Waldron. 2-0 early in the second half to the visitors. A fairly quick reply by Ryan Jackson, his first goal for Cheltenham. But at the moment, the FA Cup story is being made here, no doubt about it. Charlie Brown getting ready to come on. Not quite sure where he's going to play, Mark, but that's a different story.
Just had a message from Jim Haggin up in the box up there, who says the ball was over the line.
Oh, for the Christian Norton goal.
In that last chance.
Okay, forward by Southwood, into the penalty area it goes. Away by the visitors' defence. Circum heads it back into the penalty area. Norton beaten in the air. It'll break for Olayinka, 35 yards from goal. Chips the ball wide to Alfie May, down the Cheltenham town right. May, Circum ahead of him. Can May get a cross in here? Gets to the byline, it's blocked. And then the visitors will come away with the hard running Hamilton. This is a good run by Hamilton, fouled by Long. Really good run by Hamilton. Long's going to get a card. The Alvechurch bench empties, which is unnecessary. And a free kick for Alvechurch, 5 yards inside the Cheltenham half. On comes Charlie Brown. Now, I'm not sure what the formation's going to be here, Mark.
Well, it's going to be gung-ho formation.
Well, I mean, you've got to go to 4 at the back, haven't you?
Yeah,
that's what you've got to do.
Yeah, I think you have. It's MK Dons 6, Taunton 0. Connor Grant has got the 6th one there for the League One side against Taunton Town in the FA Cup. AFC Fylde have equalised against Gillingham. Tom Walker with the equaliser there. And Solihull Moors have equalised against Hartlepool, 2-2 there. Joe Sparra with the second for Solihull. James Olayinka coming off.
Olayinka coming off, Brown coming on. So where's Charlie Brown going to play? He's a striker, for crying out loud. You're not going to play him in midfield.
Well, he's going to play in midfield behind, isn't he? He's going to play up behind. They're going to play, whether they're going to play 2 behind. They can't just go 4-2-4. That's just.
Well, I think it's going to be.
It's just gung ho. It's just we've got to get
gung ho, and you understand it.
We've got to get all our forwards on the pitch. Fleetwood 3, Oxford City 1, Paddy Lane. Charlton 3, Colville 1, Jack Payne.
Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2. 14 minutes to go. It's getting a bit desperate, isn't it, Mark? Forward by Jackson. Christian Norton will give chase. Headed away by Carter. And then Edge to Abbey. And forward by Alvechurch. Caleb Taylor there for Cheltenham. His ball to Circum. Circum to Freestone. Freestone looks up. Knocks the ball up towards Dan Alundaloo. Hasn't been as lively in the second half as he was in the first half. Ball by May, looking for Charlie Brown. Won't get to him. Burton is there for Alvechurch. Back to goalkeeper Jessep. Jessep slips and he clears, but manages to find an Alvechurch player, which is Edge. And then forward by the visitors. Caleb Taylor there for Cheltenham. Brings that ball down very well indeed, Caleb Taylor. Finds Sean Long. Long wide to Jackson. May makes the run for him. Down the line it goes. Not going to get there. Carter will clear. Anywhere will do for Alvechurch. Looking for Hamilton.
It's gone out of play. It's gone out of play.
It's gone out of play. Throw for Cheltenham down to Cheltenham Town right. We are 13 minutes away from, I think, what in recent seasons, Mark, will be the biggest cup upset Cheltenham's ever been on the receiving end of.
Yeah, one of the biggest around, you'd say. Doncaster 0, Kings Lynn 1. Gold on Matteo with a goal for Kings Lynn. National League North leaders against League 2. Ex-Gloucester City player, Gold on Matteo scoring.
Ryan Brune for Cheltenham, back to Caleb Taylor. Caleb Taylor. Diagonal ball by him for Ryan Jackson, the Cheltenham goal scorer. His ball on to Christian Norton. Norton, push and run away for his man. Can he get to the byline? That's really good defending by Carter, but Norton keeps possession. Now he fancies running at Carter and he can't do it. Oh my goodness, Alfie May's down. Yeah. Is it Alfie May down? No, it's Jackson down. Jackson down, holding his back. It will be a throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham Town right. We have 12 minutes to go. BBC Radio Gloucestershire, Steve Kitchen's match day on all frequencies, also online. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2 if you're just joining us. Danny Waldron with 2 goals for Alvechurch. 1-0 to Alvechurch at half time. They scored right at the start of the second half to make it 2-1. Almost immediately Ryan Jackson made it 2-1 for Cheltenham. He's down receiving treatment at the moment. But Cheltenham have been unable to get a second goal, although we think Christian Norton might have scored, judging by
that's all I'm saying. It was just
that we've had at the back post. Very difficult for us to see right at the back post. Almighty scramble. Jackson is receiving treatment. It's a back injury for Ryan Jackson.
Premier League, Leeds United 4, Bournemouth 3. Crescencio Somerville, the man who scored at Liverpool the other day, has put them 4-3 up. Jordan Roberts has been sent off for Stevenage at Gateshead. Craig Clay of Leyton Orient has also been sent off. It's Spennymoor 3, Gloucester City 0 in National League North.
Cheltenham have used 4 of their 5 substitutes. All 4 of the forwards available to Wade Elliott on the bench have been brought on. Still to come on for Cheltenham: Bonds, Chapman, goalkeeper McDonald, Raglan and Bradbury. I wouldn't be surprised to see Raglan brought on, and if it's still 2-1 with 5 minutes to go. Jackson is receiving treatment.
Well, if Cheltenham probably need to bring him off and then bring somebody else on, and probably go to a 4 at the back then. Well, with Long as a Long at right wing, Freestone at left, and do that, because Ryan Jackson coming off. It's Port Vale 2, Exeter 2. Daniel Butterworth, the late equaliser there. Wolves 2, Brighton 3. Pascal Gross has put Brighton in front.
Plenty of goals in the Premier League. 3 goals here. Cheltenham want there to be a 4th, otherwise they're heading out to the FA Cup. Jackson, I don't think he's going to be able to continue.
I don't think he's going to be able to continue. He looks very, very...
Long gets ready to take a throw.
It doesn't look good at all.
Cheltenham Town. They need a goal here, the Robins. Otherwise they're heading out to the FA Cup. Long throw in it comes into the penalty area. Headed away by the visitors' defence. Brown hooks it back in the edge of penalty area. It's knocked forward, and Brown now is the last man back for Cheltenham. Oh, and his back pass isn't the best. Alvechurch thought there was a foul on edge. The whole bench once again is out complaining. I don't think for 1 minute there was.
It wasn't a foul at all. I don't know what they're on about. It certainly wasn't a foul.
Cheltenham
by Brown.
currently playing with 10 men. Over the top of Dan Alundulu. Volleyed away by the Alvechurch defence. One back by Sercombe. Sercombe's ball to Sean Long. Long's ball into the channel. Christian Norton's made the run. Can he get a crossing? Really good defending. Really good defending. Corner for Cheltenham down to Cheltenham Town right. Jackson is making his way to the tunnel. Cheltenham going to have to make a change. Where's the players coming on?
Well, Cheltenham need to make a change, yes.
Well, what's going on? Why is there no change being made?
Well, I don't know. Probably because they're more worried at the moment about the corner.
Well, okay, here it comes then from Sercombe.
But no, you're
Sercombe's ball into the penalty area. Headed on by Caleb Taylor. And there's a clash in the penalty area. Foul. Free kick for the visitors inside the penalty area.
It's Dan Alundulu.
Dan Alundulu is going to get a card here, I think, for a late challenge on Burton. That's what's happening. I'm trying to work out.
Well,
I mean, they've only used 4 subs, haven't they, Mark?
Yeah.
Well,
let's have a look. Brown and Alundulu, May and Norton, yes.
Can you use 5? Yeah, you must be able to use 5.
Yeah, you can use 5, but have Cheltenham had 4 events? Have they used all their substitution events?
Oh, that's a good question. You might be right, Mark.
Because one came on at half time. May came on in 1.
Yep.
Brown came on in 1.
Yeah, they were single substitutions.
They were all single substitutions.
Cheltenham used their substitution event.
So Cheltenham have used their substitution event.
Oh my goodness me.
So Cheltenham are going to have to finish the game with 10, I think.
Yep.
Well, here we go.
Well, they're up against it now, the Robins. 7 minutes to go.
Ryan Jackson has gone down the tunnel.
Yeah, he won't be coming back.
And Cheltenham are going to have to finish the game with 10 men.
Ryan Broom for Cheltenham. He's playing that right wing back. Cheltenham have gone to a back 4, as you'd expect. Freestone playing at left wing back. Broom up against Abbey. Can he get a cross in here? There's not much help for him, of course. And Alvechurch have dealt with that very well indeed. They knock the ball forward. Through it goes to Southwood. 7 minutes to go. BBC Radio Gloucestershire. FA Cup shock territory. Cheltenham Town 1, Alvechurch 2. Lovely ball by May, and Freestone misses it completely. Throw for Alvechurch down the Alvechurch right.
Well, Cheltenham have just it's down to these it's down to these 10 to try and haul Cheltenham back.
Alvechurch about to make a change. They're going to bring on Leon Brown, centre forward. 6 goals this season for Alvechurch. Freestone.
Cheltenham needs some inspiration from somewhere.
And Caleb Taylor gives the ball away. Now he wins it back. Then Sercombe so long. It's going to be very hard for Cheltenham with only 10 men. Forward by, looking for Christian Norton. Can he turn his man? He can't. Good defending by Carter. Then Jessup puts the ball straight out of play. Throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham Town right. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2. 6 minutes to go. Is there a way back for Cheltenham?
Increasingly desperate now.
Southwood's ball forward. Caleb Taylor heads it on. Alundulu on the edge of the penalty area. Can't get there. And Caleb Taylor's taken a knock. And the ball has disappeared onto the head thing. And that's a head injury for Caleb Taylor. And
goodness me.
On come.
It's like emergency ward 10 here this afternoon.
BBC Radio Gloucestershire, what do you think? Steve Kitchen in the studio. 81333 is the text number. Gloss is the first word of your text. Standard network charge apply. Tweet at BBC Gloss. Or the WhatsApp number 08000 321 333. 08000 321 333. This is the FA Cup story in the first round of the FA Cup on bonfire night. And Cheltenham are on the receiving end of it. If you're just joining us, 2 goals by Danny Waldron, the leading goal scorer now. He wasn't at the start of play, but he is now for Alvechurch. Ryan Jackson, who's gone off injured for Cheltenham, and Cheltenham down to 10 men because they've used 4 of their 5 substitutes. But as Mark says, they've had too many substitution events.
And Chippenham have beaten Lincoln by 1-0 in the FA Cup. I did say earlier the goal was scored by Joe Hanks. It was then taken off him and given to Harry Parsons. But whoever scored it, Chippenham 1, Lincoln City 0.
That's Southern League on the Conference
National League South.
Conference South.
Beating
National
League
League
One.
South, beating
League One.
League One. But here, this is an even bigger story. Chip forward by Ryan Broom into the penalty area, helped on by Christian Norton. Alfie May on the edge of the penalty area, brings the ball down. Alundaloo can't make the most of it. Alvechurch clear it up to Abbey. Abbey under pressure from Broom. Don't want to foul him here and give away a cheap free kick. Good pressure by Broom, but in the end, Abbey plays the ball off him and out of play for a throw. We have under 5 minutes, 4 minutes for stoppage time to go. Cheltenham Town 1, Alvechurch 2, and we've got a bit of a debate here.
Well, Alfie May's trying to get them to get on with it, and he sort of gave the ball back to the Alvechurch player, and Teixeira, the little number 4, is now having a right go at Alfie May, and they're having a little square up. So everybody's just got off a bit, really. Referee's getting his card out. Well, Alfie May's going to get booked now, and that's not. And really, he should be booked. The other
Teixeira going to get booked.
Well, he should be booked as well. Well, it's just nonsense. Anyway, Milton Keynes have beaten Taunton 6-0, and in the FA Cup. And Accrington have won 4-1 at Crawley.
Ball thrown forward, goes off Hamilton and a play. Throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham Town right. Sean Long to take it for Cheltenham. You have to say, how many times have Cheltenham worked the goalkeeper, Mark?
Well, they haven't. They haven't really. They've had a lot of balls into the box, and it's been sort of flashing around a bit, but they haven't really been quite comfortable.
Southwards ball forward. Caleb Taylor, who fortunately is okay after that knock, heads the ball forward. Away by Alvechurch.
Cheltenham basically playing 2 at the back now. They're basically playing Freestone and Long.
Yeah, well, it
Taylor's gone further forward.
Alvechurch get a third, don't they? Caleb Taylor with the flick on. Away by Alvechurch up to the halfway line. Freestone wants the ball to go out of play. It's not going to. Alvechurch have won the ball back. And a free kick to Alvechurch over on the Alvechurch right. 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2. BBC Radio Gloucestershire, Steve Kitchen's match day. Full reaction to come, I'm sure. Plenty of reaction from you listening on that text number 81333. Gloss is the first word of your text. Standard network charge to apply. Tweet at BBC Gloss. WhatsApp number 08000 321 333.
Hamilton going off. He's been good.
He's been very good.
Impressive.
And Brown coming on for the last 90 seconds plus stoppage time, with Cheltenham facing, well, is it too big a word to call it humiliation, Mark?
No, it's not too big a word. I remember you saying that at Tamworth when Cheltenham lost there, and Mark Yates took great umbrage at your question, if I remember rightly. But this is humiliation if Cheltenham lose this. AFC Fylde have drawn 1-1 with Gillingham, so they will have a replay. Bristol Rovers have beaten Rochdale. Boreham Wood have beaten Eastleigh. Buxton are leading Merthyr 2-0.
Ball not long by Alvechurch, over here and a play. Goal kick for Cheltenham. We're going to get the 4th official in a minute's time. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2. Alvechurch very close to a famous victory. Ryan Broom for Cheltenham. His ball forward looking for Alfie May, doesn't find him. Checks here, this little midfield player. Runs into Broom. Broom sets off. Surely he's taken out by Sefton. He is.
Yellow card.
Sefton. Opportunity for Cheltenham to put the ball into a penalty area. One bit of controversy. If you're just joining us, Cheltenham thought they had equalised through Christian Norton. A lot of people thought the ball might have crossed the line. The assistant referee and the referee didn't give it. That's what matters.
Sutton United 0, Farnborough 2. Francis Amati has scored the second goal in the 96th minute there. So non-league Farnborough looking like they're going to knock out League 2 Sutton.
Here it's a free kick for Cheltenham, which Sercombe is going to take. Sercombe's ball into the penalty area. Headed away by the Alvechurch defence. Really good defending. Sercombe will play it back in, you'd think. Plays the ball wide to Ryan Broom. Broom, his ball into the penalty area. It's a deep one to the back post. Caleb Taylor, Daniel Underloo, can he turn? He can't. Charlie Brown! The referee's blown up already. Free kick inside the penalty area. 6 minutes of stoppage time. 6 minutes for Alvechurch to hold out. They will be some of the longest 6 minutes, I would think, of some of these Alvechurch players' lives. But for Cheltenham, it will go very, very quickly, particularly as you would expect. Alvechurch are going to take an age over deciding what blade of grass the goalkeeper is going to take the free kick from.
Let's finish Burton Albion 2, Needham Market 0. So Burton go through. And an own goal has made it Nottingham Forest 2, Brentford 2 in the last minute at the City Ground in the Premier League.
The Alvechurch fans, rightly and understandably, are the fans you can hear. Forward by Charlie Brown. The header away, and Abbey just knocks that anyway. He probably had a little bit of time just to bring that ball down, to be quite honest. Cheltenham, remember, playing with 10 men, not because they've had a man sent off, but because they've used all their substitution events. Not they're all substitutions, but all their substitution events. And Ryan Jackson, the Cheltenham goal scorer, has had to go off. Sercombe heads the ball back. Sean Long forward. Away by Alvechurch. Long volleys it in the general direction of goal. That's a misplaced pass, only as far as Alfie May. May plays the ball wide. Good ball. Now can Broom get a cross in here for Cheltenham? Into the penalty it goes. Half cleared. It goes over the top of Alfie May's head. And here's a substitute who's just come on, which is Brown. And Brown's ball wide. And Alvechurch will break here with Burton. Burton down the Alvechurch right. That's a good ball on to Brown. Brown, he's got Hamilton in the middle. Here he goes. And he goes for goal. That was very ambitious. Out of play it goes. Goal kick for Cheltenham. But more time wasted. 4.5 minutes of stoppage time to go. Cheltenham 1, Alvechurch 2. Steve Kitchen's Matchday on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. We are bringing you what I'm afraid is the national story here in the FA Cup first round. And here is Edge with a shot from distance, saved by the goalkeeper.
It was a poor kick by Southwood. It went straight to Edge, and he did really well. Took it on and had the shot.
Ball knocked forward by Southwood. Up towards Daniel Underloo. Lunderloo beaten in the air. Abbey.
He's been poor second half from Lunderloo.
And then the ball is knocked down the line. And here is Sean Long. And he goes back to Southwood. Southwood's ball. Alfie May tries to bring that down. Beaten by Tixera, who sets off. Good tackle by Cheltenham. And then Sercombe wins it back for Cheltenham. Sercombe to Alundaloo. Alundaloo for Cheltenham. Goes past one man. That was surely a foul, and the referee doesn't give it. Alundaloo's been caught and he's now down injured. And Alundaloo just needs to, well, if he can get up, he needs to get up because Cheltenham need him. 3 minutes between them and FA Cup exit. Cheltenham have, as you'd expect, no shape whatsoever because they've only got 10 players. Alundaloo is limping. Alvechurch very, very close to an extraordinary FA Cup result. Southwood chips the ball forward up in the general direction of Caleb Taylor. He flicks the ball on, volleyed away.
He's down now, Caleb Taylor. Cheltenham players going down like flies here.
It's a throw for Cheltenham on the halfway line.
Good work that was by George Lloyd, whacking the ball across the pitch as quickly as he could. Did very well there.
Freestone might as well go back to Southwood. And Southwood just needs to knock it long here. Cheltenham are 2 minutes away from an inglorious FA Cup exit. Forward by Southwood, up towards Caleb Taylor. Taylor is beaten in the air. Sean Long for Cheltenham. His ball wide. Alundaloo can barely run. He's going to get to the ball. Plays it down the line. Ryan Broom. Good play by Ryan Broom into the penalty area. He goes. Still he goes into the penalty area, and it's blocked by the Alvechurch defence, and they knock the ball long. Cheltenham have barely got any players on the pitch. They're all down injured. Ball not long, headed away by Alvechurch.
Well, they're effectively down to 9 because
Alundaloo can't run. Alundaloo's gone. Forward by Sercombe. His ball forward, it's going to be overhit. Goalkeeper will gather it. 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. The goalkeeper lies down injured, thinking he's been caught by Christian Norton. I don't know whether he wasn't or
I don't think he was at all.
And
referee tells him to get up.
I think has pulled a muscle here in his calf. And
Wade Elliott's just saying you've got to stay on.
Carry on.
Farnborough have won by 2-0 at Sutton.
But the story's here, Mark. The story is here.
I know it is. I know it is. I'm afraid it is.
Sean Long to Luke Southwood. 90 seconds to go. The 9 men of Cheltenham. Can they get a dramatic equaliser? Helped on by Caleb Taylor.
Well,
Through it goes to goalkeeper Jessup. The rain
so many
continues
headers.
to fall.
Caleb Taylor, he's won about 8 or 9 headers in the last few minutes.
A minute to go. Alvechurch lead by 2-1. Danny Waldron will be the name you'll hear, because he's the man who scored the 2 goals that looked like they put Alvechurch through. Long ball forward by them. Here's the substitute who's just come on, Leo Brown. He'll try to go to the corner flag. It's going to break to Waldron into the penalty area. He's going to have a shot. Oh, he's hit the outside of the post. Edge is going to take it rightly to the corner flag. Goodness me, that was close.
Oh, that was a great hit by Waldron. He's been outstanding today, he really has. It's a free kick or a throw to Cheltenham on that
throw to Cheltenham down.
Cheltenham just needs to get the ball up the pitch as quickly as they can now. Not that there's really anybody up there, I'm afraid, and I think this is done.
Alvechurch volley the ball out of play. Goal kick for Cheltenham. We are 10 seconds from the end of stoppage time. It looks like curtains for Cheltenham in the FA Cup. Huge ramifications for the club.
Massive ramifications.
Alvechurch have won. It is an extraordinary afternoon for them. The bench empties, they run over to their fans away to our right. It is one of the FA Cup stories. One of the most humiliating results in Cheltenham Town's history, Mark Halliwell.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. And Cheltenham didn't deserve any more than they got, I'm afraid. They weren't good enough, I'm afraid. Alvechurch took their chances when they came along. Cheltenham, I don't think they didn't set up right, in my opinion, in the first half. They got a little bit better in the up to half time, but they did not do enough. They got the goal back to make it 2-1, and then they just didn't do enough after that. They were poor, really. They were just trying to whack the ball into the box for the last half hour. It wasn't good enough, and all credit and congratulations to Alvechurch. They deserve their win.
And that's the first thing we must say. We must absolutely congratulate a team who play a long way down the pyramid. This is not a defeat as some of Cheltenham's recent defeats have been. It's 5 defeats now in 10 years to non-league clubs, Mark. It's not a team, as Alvechurch fans get on the pitch, it's not a defeat to a team in the National League. 3 defeats to Cheltenham in National League, full National League teams, 1 to a National League North defeat. But this is different. This is a team in the Southern League Premier Division Central.
Yes, it is, and it's not good enough. And there's loads of Alvechurch fans celebrating on the pitch. The stewards are trying to keep them away from there's some Cheltenham fans on the, I'm not suggesting that any Cheltenham fans are trying to get to them, they're not.
No.
But the Alvechurch fans are just enjoying their moment, when the stewards are just trying to keep them.
And I know you shouldn't come on the pitch, Mark.
No,
but if this had been Cheltenham,
this is the biggest result they've had.
Exactly. If this
had
been Cheltenham, you know, when you and I were watching them in the Southern League, Mark, going somewhere like Wartall and winning, I don't begrudge them this at all.
No,
a lot of children on the pitch as well, Alvechurch fans, which is great to see, and well done them. Let's not take anything away from them. They have been absolutely magnificent.
Their players gave it absolutely everything. Their players were right from the minute 1. Their players were up for it. They were giving it everything. They were snapping into tackles. They were absolutely outstanding, all of their players, and they were absolutely brilliant, and they fully deserved their win. And well, Cheltenham, as we said, massive ramifications budget-wise for Cheltenham for January going ahead. Massive ramifications for Wade Elliott. There's been a lot of supporters who've had a lot of doubts about Wade Elliott. Those are only going to increase, and there's going to be more pressure heaped on his shoulders. And Cheltenham, I mean, this is a very, very damaging result for Cheltenham's season in more ways than one.
So, Mark, I have to ask you the direct question. First question.
Yeah.
Do you, Mark Halliwell, think Wade Elliott should be changed?
No, I don't. but I can understand why a lot of supporters will say that he should be.
Okay, let me ask a second question. Do you think Wade Elliott will be changed as a result of this result?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I mean, David Bloxham came out. There was an interview in the Echo, wasn't there, a couple of days ago by John Palmer with David Bloxham, and he was full of praise for Wade Elliott and saying that Cheltenham are going. He felt that Cheltenham were going in the right direction, but this result is so damaging, not only for Wade but for the club as a whole.